Local sports in the afternoon. It's the Drive Guys with Kevin Gleason and Kyle Drake on your radio at 1140 a.m.
Streaming audio at SacktownSports.com and the Sacktown Sports app.
You can also watch the show on YouTube at Sacktown Sports 1140. Here are the Drive Guys with Kevin Gleason and Kyle Drake.
Fear not, Kyle Draper returns today. Running a little late, Jay. He says second segment Kyle today. So that's just the classic, flex like dramatic entrance. I'm be gone a few days. I'll make the people wait a little longer for me. That's all that is.
Well, when you're the LeBron James of the station and LeBron is getting his ass kicked
there you go.
This week, I can see why he's coming in just a bit late.
Yeah, maybe you don't want to be the LeBron James of anything right now. The way Ant was just putting both hands to his chest and shoving him around, Jay.
Look like a cornerback out there.
Yes.
I love it. I love it.
Mm-hmm. I do too. Before we get any further, I almost texted you this weekend. I thought, I'll just wait till Monday to find out. And we'll get to the NBA playoffs and the NFL draft. But how about Sinners, Jay? How was it?
You might be disappointed by my outtake. Everybody.
Didn't do anything for you?
Nah, I didn't.
Okay.
It didn't. As much as everybody loved it and I respect it, first of all, and I've always said this, I'm not the biggest movie person anyway.
You said that, and you said also scary movies don't really
they don't really
have much of
excite
an
me.
impact.
Yeah, I give it a 6.5 out of 10.
All right. For
and
you,
everybody,
I would guess on the J scale, that's not bad, I'm guessing.
Yeah, that's cool. And everybody, I guarantee they're going to light it up. J this and that. And for what it stands for, the nuances, I get all of that. Definitely understand it. The wife looked it up, gave me a rubric of what I needed to understand. Like same thing. She's kind of, she hints. It's funny because we're the opposite, but she kind of said the same thing. I think she had it about a 7 out of 10 or so, something like that, 7 out of 10. But I like the nostalgia of the setting. I appreciate what Ryan was trying to do.
Ryan Coogler, the director of Sac
State, as you got the hoodie representing the young Gleason of the family, one of the younger Gleasons of the family.
That's right.
I like Michael B. Jordan in it. I thought he did a very good job. Won't spoil it for anybody, but he plays a few things. Love that position of it. Not the biggest on vampires and all that good jazz. That's not who I am, So it was a good movie, but it wasn't for what everybody else loves it. Shouts out to them, to the Siskel and Eberts and the Siskel and Roperts and everybody. And what's the other one? Green potato. What's the one that rate green tomatoes? Rotten Tomatoes. Yeah. Everybody that rates movies. Shouts out to them for thinking it's a 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10.
Okay, so disappointing for you a little bit. Which playoff team is as disappointing as Sinners was?
Well, I wasn't disappointed.
Underwhelming?
No. I kind of went into it because, and that's why we set the foundation. I'm not a scary movie guy, and I'm not the biggest movie person anyway. So my expectations, Whitey, is I didn't go in like, oh my goodness, this is spectacular. Like Christopher Loud, morning producer here. He's a huge movie person. Like he's a guy that dives into movies. He watches them. He researches them, things like that. I'm not that type of person. I just sit down and watch a movie.
I got you.
So I'm not the demographic that Ryan Coogler is looking for.
Right. But you gave it for you a 6.5 out of 10. Yeah. Okay. So how about these teams so far in the playoffs? Because we got 5 teams on the brink of elimination and Memphis is already out. So do you think the Lakers maybe so far like a 6.5 out of 10? Detroit? Miami, Orlando, Milwaukee, Milwaukee with Dame going down. Looks like maybe an Achilles.
Yeah, the one that surprises me for sure are the Lakers. They're not even a 6.5 right now. They're a big box office movie, and they're not
right.
They're tanking.
Yeah, they're flopping.
Yeah, it is, man.
Rotten Tomatoes has a very
IMDb ain't down in the 4s.
Yeah, And it's funny because I know that since the season began, Drapes and I have been kind of poking at you about J.J. Redick. Yeah. And then yesterday, J.J. Redick playing his starters all the way through the second half. Magic Johnson going after him, saying, I don't think I would do that. Magic Johnson throwing LeBron under the bus, saying, we needed him to come through in the fourth quarter, and he didn't score. So, they're right on the edge against a team that looks like, they've just they found their stride and they're playing with an edge. Those Minnesota Timberwolves.
You never say it's over, but they've gotten dominated more times than not in certain instances. Now, the scoreboard hasn't shown like, oh, they're getting wiped by 30, but there's been a few times they've gotten punked. You can definitely see JJ getting out coached, and you see the younger stars of the Timberwolves definitely doing a little more than the younger stars of the Lakers. And,
Timberwolves look like a team, like they have guys like McDaniels, who they know their role and they're performing very well.
He's played well.
And the Lakers look like they're still actually kind of sorting some of that out.
Agreed.
It's too late for that.
Yeah, we're here now. We're definitely here. And LeBron has played well, no doubt about it, especially his age, and no drawbacks for LeBron. But I will say this, and he's taken a lot of heat for not taking the last shot. Here we go, last shot. But
standing in the corner, LeBron.
Yeah, I was going to say, if he's going out, don't you got to go out just a little bit better than he's going out? And I like LBJ. I'm an LBJ guy when it comes to the Jordan conversation. But man, he didn't do himself no favors last game.
That's true. And now it looks like maybe one of the big stories of the offseason is going to be, as you said, nothing's done yet. But if the Bucks don't get out of the first round, they're down 3-1 now. Is that going to turn into are they going to break it up? Are the Bucks going to send Giannis on his way? Are they going to tear it down? Is Giannis going to be on the open market? If I were the Bucks, by the way, first of all, the series is far from over. But when you have a guy like Giannis, just like when the Warriors were trying to figure out what to do when they had Steph and they had Draymond and Clay at times, like guys like that, especially Steph, forget the other two. When you have Steph, you try to make it work as long as you can. When you have Giannis, because those are the guys, those rare players. I know a lot of people say, oh, you trade them for as much as you can get. But those are the guys that are almost impossible to get. If it were me, Jay, and I were the Bucks, I would still try to figure out if I get knocked down the first round, all right, Giannis, we still want to build around you. Because you let him go and maybe you build up some draft picks and you tear it down. You're not getting another Giannis.
No.
You got to make the most of it while you have him.
Absolutely. I'm not trading Giannis on my deathbed. And I'm not saying a first-round exit, Dame Lillard coming off an Achilles tear is not your deathbed. But I'm doing another reset, another reshuffle when it comes to the Bucks. I'm with you. And, Giannis isn't 38. I think you still got 5 good ones with Giannis. I'm hitting the reshuffle button, and I'm asking him, hey, listen, stick around. Let's figure something out. Let me go try to grab somebody else. We know Dame is probably done more or less for next year. Let me see what else I can do. Let's move a few pawns and see if we can bring back a couple of kings and queens,
Also saw this, now the Grizzlies are out, and so Zach Kleiman, their GM, kind of met with the media. Here's what he said over the weekend. How about this? Here's something that your Kings did right. They didn't do a lot right this year. Here's something they did right. Zach Kleiman of the Grizzlies, quote, I think we should have picked up Jake LaRavia's team option. The mistake was there. I think Jake could have helped us down the stretch. How about that? Good
Shots
for him
out.
for being honest.
Shots out.
The Kings have Jake LaRavia, and maybe they'll figure out a way to keep him. It sounds like he wants to stay here, Jay.
Yeah.
So that's well done by whoever. Money, I don't know. Whoever did it.
Anybody in the organization taking credit for it.
Vivek, whoever. Well done. Good move there.
Shouts out to them and shouts out to Jake getting I saw him get engaged this weekend. Yeah, so he's trying to tighten up his life in many different areas, and hopefully that means a solid deal here, and maybe it's a one and show me type deal here in Sacramento. Whatever it is, hopefully Jake sticks around. I'm a LaRavia fan. I've been on record saying since the beginning, his first press conference, it really wasn't nothing there, but I just liked the way his demeanor was, his sauce. He didn't care about all the fluff stuff. He came in and was like, man, I'm here to hoop.
Right.
Hat to the side, sweatsuit. I'm ready to rock and I'm ready to hoop, and I'm glad y'all brought me here. I don't care about all that, high-fiving and all that type of stuff in the press conference. I'm ready to rock. And so I appreciate that with Jake, and he came in and did his thing. He dealt with some injuries, but I really like his attitude. And, not to be like that. I'm not the purple colored glass guy when it says, well, if you want to be here, we want you. Nah, because I'm not like that. But I think Jake brings something to the table.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if that's ever happened before. And again, appreciate Zach Kleiman being that honest. When's the last time a team let a guy go? The Kings got him, and then his old team said, boy, we blew that one. I don't know if that's ever happened. Now, obviously, he addresses some of your needs when you have Your GM, Scott Perry, saying we need some length and athleticism. Jake LaRivia gives you some of that, so hopefully they can figure that out. But like I said, I'm not trying to say, see, everything is great, because we know it's not. The Kings have a lot of difficult questions they got to answer. But that's one thing in this forgettable season that the Kings did right. Huzzah.
Yeah.
Well done.
Shots out, pats on the back. I will say this. Isn't it interesting? You look at some of these teams throughout the playoffs, and the Bucks look like they're on their way out. They're completely on their way out. And so now you're starting to see Bucks reporters and insiders chastise who the Bucks are and no picks. And this guy's not signed. And these dudes are free agents. And the Kings aren't the only team going through struggles.
Right.
You really sit down and look around the league. There's some teams who are really bottoming out and who are even, and this is the tough part. The Kings are in the middle of the NBA, and that's where you don't want to be.
Yes.
I think Milwaukee's starting to kind of be in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
They're one of those middling teams. Now they got a championship to show for it, and that's the only thing people could say. Hey, they got a ship, and so I respect that. But they're looking over their shoulders and in front of them as well. They're trying to figure out where they've come from and where they're going.
Now, Mr. Draper has just entered the studios.
Has he?
We'll give him a moment to get situated, and then we may have to talk about his Rockets, Jay.
Oh, yeah. Well, as he said, it changes every day. It changes every day.
Yeah. All these controversial decisions and reviews, are they good for the business of the NBA? Drapes is going to join us when we come right back to Sacktown Sports.
The Sacktown Sports 1140 newsletter. Right to your email. Get your latest on the Sacramento Kings, UC Davis, and Sac State with the Sacktown Sports 1140 newsletter. Visit SacktownSports.com to join.
It's Carmichael Dave talking to you about my good friends at American Energy. You're in the Sacramento area. You know how the seasons work. They are a-changing right now. So American Energy wants to help you stay warm for the rest of the cold season, but help you stay cool during the warm season. Best way to do that, make sure your system is operating safely. So right now is the time to take advantage of half off a tune-up, $24.50. They cut that right in half, and if you want a diagnostic, guess what? You can't beat free. If it's free, it's me, and now it can be you. And also, it's the end of the season blowout. $4,000 off a new system plus any rebates. That $4,000, that's a direct drop from the sticker price. It's a great deal. Check them out at the aeway.com or an instant quote, or give them a call at 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990. Tell them your good buddy Carmichael Dave sent you.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
I'm Ken Korak with your Green and Gold Report, brought to you by Comcast Business, powering possibilities. Well, the A's call-up of last year's first-round pick and fourth selection overall in the draft, Nick Kurtz, is not surprising, but his rise through the A's minor league system is pretty astounding. Kurtz has played in only 32 minor league games, but the numbers are eye-popping. A .336 average, 11 home runs, and 37 RBIs.
Comcast Business helps turn today's small businesses into engines of modern business. It's how restaurants become reliably up and running neighborhood favorites. It's how retailers become seamlessly restocking, cyber-securing must-visit shops. And it's how healthcare offices become data-managing caregivers that we all depend on. With reliable connectivity, enhanced cybersecurity, advanced fiber solutions, and Wi-Fi backup, Comcast Business is powering the engine of modern business.
Get ready for Monster Truck Madness, featuring Rockstar, California Kid, Identity Theft, Spitfire, Reverse, Titan, and Monster Truck Rides. Saturday, May 10th with 2 back-to-back shows at the San Joaquin County Fairgrounds. Shows at 3 p.m. and 7:30 p.m. Grab your tickets now. StocktonDirtTrack.com. Live and local, it's the Drive Guys. Watch the show on youtube.com/SacktownSports1140.
Or listen on the Sacktown Sports app.
I should have requested this song to Jay. I was hoping, but I didn't say anything to him. I was hoping we would play Little Peaches and Herb because we are reunited with Kyle Draper back in the studio. What's up, Drapes? Welcome home to Sacktown Sports.
I got so much on my mind today, fellas. First of all, being back here is good to see you guys. Jay in the back right there. I missed you guys, actually. with that being said, it's freaking a nice day outside.
Man, go ahead and walk out the studio, man.
Saying,
Take another day off.
I'm
man.
just
Take
saying,
another
bro,
day off.
It's nice outside. The golf game is trying to round into form.
Oh, here we go.
So, but nah, man, I got so much on my mind, man. It's been a crazy week in the NBA. My running back is in the news for the Philadelphia Eagles. He's in the news cycle right now, trending on social media. So I got a lot on my mind right now, boys. A lot on my mind.
Where do you want to start? We were going to talk about all the controversial finishes, but plenty of time for that. Plenty of time for all that today. We had the draft going on.
Yeah, got to talk
Jay and
about
I
that.
were out at Tom's Watch Bar.
Oh, I want to start there. I missed it. How was it? I know
good.
it was Thursday. How was it?
Yeah, it was very nice. Who was it? Van came out. Pardon me. It took me a second to remember. Van the man, big Raider fan, was out there.
Okay.
among other
Okay.
people.
All
Yeah.
right.
Yeah,
all
so we
right.
had a good time.
Yeah, and I missed that, and obviously, we'll talk about the draft, Shedeur Sanders, and all of that. But let's start with the NBA. Adam Silver has a problem.
Does he?
The officiating was atrocious this weekend. I'm Whitey, I'll let you set up the topic, obviously here.
No, go get
But
it.
no, because I can name 4 or 5 instances where I'm like, what the hell are the officials thinking? And for the people out there that say, well, we like physicality, it's more entertaining. That's not basketball. When Tim Hardaway Jr. gets sideswiped, it was like a body check in hockey, a cross check. You got to make that call. Don't get me started on the Lakers game. And I know we ain't going to, shed any tears over the Lakers, but that Anthony Edwards, LeBron James, to let that go 3 trips down the basket, that's not basketball, Whitey.
It isn't.
That's
It's
street ball right
It's
there.
almost literally football when a guy's coming off the line of scrimmage.
Right,
The
you're just
receiver.
pushing.
Yeah, and you
Like-
give him the check to the chest.
I'm disappointed in my league, man. I'm really disappointed because the actual play has been great. Big time shots, game winners, clutch shots. The competition is at a high. Like these teams are going at each other. But damn, blow the whistle. And I hear, did you guys talk about, no, we haven't, did you see G-Man's tweet about Stephen A. Smith and ESPN? It's like, that is not to be celebrated. The Pistons got robbed. They got robbed the other night.
For those who didn't see it, G-Man basically said Stephen A. was being a homer.
Yeah.
So, and I didn't know. I assumed that Stephen A. was so pro Knicks that's what prompted the post.
G-Man said, shame on ESPN. The incessant, blatant, undisguised homerism by Stephen A. Smith is beyond disgusting. 30,000 impressions on Twitter for G-Man. It's ridiculous, man. And so when you have great games, hotly contested games, be decided by a whistle or lack thereof, I'll go back to the Lakers game. The challenge on the foul by LeBron on Anthony Edwards was the right call. They got it right.
Which one? The
The
first
very
one
last one. The last one. The
After
very
review?
last one. After
review.
review.
So they hit.
And they had the Hawkeye,
Yeah,
the
and on the
bird's eye
wrist.
view.
Okay.
But the Lakers should have had their timeout back. Lakers got penalized twice on that. They lost their timeout because they the one that called the timeout. And they lost the challenge. Like Minnesota won the challenge. And so I just feel like there's too much gray area in the NBA that, it's not pleasant to because what we should be talking about is how great the games were. Instead, it's about the officiating.
Yeah, and it's about the controversial finishes in with the Clippers and the Nuggets.
How about
also
that? Yes.
And I think it's a bad look for the league when you decide things on review, because even if you get it right, there's going to be a lot of people going, "Oh,
right,
it's
right,
it's fixed."
Right.
The NBA is still dealing with all the, Donaghy and all that, fairly or unfairly. They're still dealing with the wake of all that. So it's just unfortunate. I'm still trying to figure out exactly what the rule is on the Aaron Gordon play. I guess the ball came out of his hand a split second before the light came on. But then on the Hardaway shot, Jason Hart bumped him. I mean, I think Drapes, I know he was fouled. I've seen plays like that at the very end of the game where they let it go. And he clearly was foul. To my naked eye, when I first saw it, it was not as clear. But then if you don't have the challenge, you can't challenge it. But obviously when the Knicks benefit from that, and afterward the refs go, oh, yeah, he was fouled. That's just a terrible
It's like, what are we doing? And I'll go back to something you just said. I've seen them let that go. Plays like, that's a foul, Whitey.
Yeah.
A foul is a foul is a foul. Ain't no letting. To me, if you're letting it go, you're giving the advantage to the defender if you're letting that go. And you're not the officials are supposed to call it down the middle, right?
Yes.
And so what are we doing here, NBA? And you're right. Then to come out with the statement afterwards, on second thought, it should have been a foul call. Like, either get rid of it. Like, I don't know how to fix it in that situation. And Ernie Johnson made a good point on the post-game show after that. Maybe there should be somebody in the league office in Secaucus who says, who's an eye in the sky, basically, and says, guys, that was a foul. We can't let the game in like that. That's what Ernie Johnson said.
Yeah.
And so, because
if you want to get the calls right, if that's really what you want, you got to take the gamesmanship out of it and have someone there, to your point, eye in the sky, who's able to go, hey, that's wrong.
Right.
Because if you have it dependent on whether a team has a challenge or not, and I understand you don't want an endless run of replay reviews, but still, this isn't really working. And I think it's working ultimately against the league.
And maybe in the last 2 minutes, you have that eye in the sky or something. Like you said, you don't want an endless, know, where every call is being adjudicated back in Secaucus. But with the game on the line, maybe even last minute, I'll take Whitey.
Yeah.
Especially in a playoff game, that call or non-call changed the series. Instead of it being 2-2 going back to New York, now the Knicks are up. Like, come on now. Like, it just – and I know football has the same issue, though. I mean, we've seen some football calls and non-calls affect. It's just it's not pleasurable to watch that and see games end like that.
Because it takes the focus off of the things that, as basketball fans, we would like to talk about.
Exactly. Any other calls you had an issue with over the week? Anything with that Lakers game? I know we always happy when the Lakers lose.
Absolutely.
But in terms of if it was the other way around, if the Kings got screwed like that, how would we be feeling?
I thought it was curious that they let it go, that they let Ant be as physical as he was. Just to your point.
And how about
that's great. I don't want the Lakers to win, but I know basketball, and that's not really a basketball play.
And how about also the Luka trip? That's a foul 100% of the time, and people will say, well, by the letter of how they adjudicate that call, tripping is automatic. Even if the defender doesn't stick out his foot, even if the offensive player just nudges on the foot of the defender, that's usually automatic. And so it's just it's been fantastic basketball, high level competitive basketball. That's what we want to see in the NBA. But when it comes down to that final minute or 2 minutes, you don't want the officials to be playing a role in it.
I saw a play, now that you mention it, I saw a play in the Warrior game. And it was late in the game, and the Warriors pretty much were going to win anyway. But Amen Thompson is trying to knock the ball away from Draymond.
Yeah.
And he reaches around and they call a foul. Draymond falls down. They review it. And then they win the challenge because he reached around cleanly and knocked the ball loose. But with his left knee, he tripped Draymond. Draymond ran in. It's like, that's a foul. But no, because he reached around and made contact with the ball cleanly, so it's not a foul. It's just, it gets down to the whole issue of, I don't know what a foul is anymore.
Yeah.
And that's not a good thing.
Right. It's not a good thing. And let me pose it to you this way, though, because we've heard the term, the refs swallow the whistles, the late in game. Do you think a foul in the first should be the same as a foul in the fourth and vice versa?
Absolutely, I do, but it won't be. It just won't. They, like you said, they swallow their whistles at the end, and that's kind of the protocol. I disagree with it, but I think that's how they're going to do it.
Yeah, because even in that Boston-Orlando game 3, I think it was the one where Orlando won, they had a play at the buzzer. Porzingis got mugged underneath. It was like a rugby scrum down there, but the officials aren't going to make that call. And it's too much gray area. That's the part I don't like about it. A foul is a foul is a foul, no matter what.
When you think about it, it's not even really gray area. It's black and white, but what's a foul and what's not a foul changes.
In the first half, it's black. In the second half, it's for late in the game. It's white.
A clear foul will be allowed late in the game. I don't think they benefit from that. But exciting games. Exciting games. And now we got, as we were saying before you came in, Drapes, we got 5 teams on the brink, and Memphis is out. 5 teams on the brink.
On the
base
brink.
Elimination.
Yeah, it's
a quick series.
So real quick here then. Quick series, but the games are good, huh? Right? The first round has been good, even though these series are about to be, over quickly.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Your Rockets got to get back in this.
My Rocket. Hey, don't get me started on Draymond Green. I'll tell you about the text exchange I had with Bonte and Chris Mullen the other night. I'll tell you about that coming up.
All right, we're back with that. Also, the Kings update, hardly a news flash. Next, by the way, 339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. Want to weigh in with the Drive Guys on Sacktown Sports.
You never know what you might hear when listening to a Sacramento Kings game.
Out of Keegan, going for another triple. Man, is he feeling it. Keegan, can he do it? Yes, there's number 11, Keegan Murray. Keegan steps back. He just knocked down his 12th three-pointer, a Kings franchise record. He's got 45 points.
Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with Sacktown Sports and the Sacktown Sports app.
Power Business Technology is proud to be a 100% independent, locally owned and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer since 2021. Contact us today for all your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729, or visit us at powercopiers.com.
The PGA Club fitters at the Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio know that golf should be fun. They also know that players of all abilities will hit the ball farther and straighter, play better golf, shoot lower scores, and have more fun if they get fitted before they purchase golf clubs. Hagen Oaks delivers the same technology and major brands used to fit PGA and LPGA professionals. See how the game can be even more fun. Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio fittings are available 7 days a week. Make yours today by calling 916-808-2531. That's 808-2531.
Sacramento's premier country music festival, Country in the Park, is coming back May 16th and 17th at Cal Expo with Bailey Zimmerman, Billy Currington, Cole Wetzel, Nate Smith, and more. You'll enjoy food trucks, rock walls, and a mechanical bull, line dancing, and more. Single-day GA tickets start at $52 at CITPFest.com. Country in the Park, May 16th and 17th with Sky River Casino, Hop Valley Brewing, and Naturewood Home Furnishings. Find out more at CITPFest.com.
Insurance companies perform a very valuable service, but they want to keep their money. Although most cases settle before trial, it is paramount that the insurance companies know that if pressed, your legal team has the experience to take your case all the way. For 25 years, Ashton & Price has earned the reputation that if the insurance company isn't fair, we're ready to force them to be fair. My mom used to warn me, wait till dad gets home. Think of us as dad. The best part, there's no fee until we win.
Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton and Price.
Great conditions, a fun layout, and unbeatable value. Timber Creek and Sierra Pines are Sacramento's #1 rated golf destination. With 27 holes, a spacious practice facility, and professional instruction, there's always a way to improve your game. Planning a tournament or corporate event, they offer customizable packages and award-winning catering to make your event effortless. Timber Creek is easy to find in Roseville, but hard to forget. Book your round today at timbercreekgc.com or call 916-774-3851.
Hello, Sacramento. I'm Emran Pilati, owner of True Sports Cards and Collectible Store here in Rockland, California, and the host of the True Sports Cards Show that airs right here on Sacktown Sports 1140 every Saturday from 10 to 11 a.m., where we discuss the latest trends, hottest products, and deliver exclusive interviews with other industry leaders. And don't forget to visit our shop, True Sports Cards, at 6661 Stanford Ranch Road in Rockland and see what we have for all your sports card and memorabilia needs.
The only station in Sacramento giving you local sports coverage from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday. Sacktown Sports.
All right, let the rumors officially begin. This is from Hoof Collective Podcast, which is Windhorst, right? And also our buddy Tim McMahon.
Yes.
And one or two other notables on that podcast. From actually, this is from Tim McMahon. There's a lot of whispering and rumbling around the league regarding Morant potentially being available on the trade market. So let's
sign me up.
Yes,
sign me up. 100%. Chips all in. Whatever it takes to get Ja to sack, sign Drapes up.
That's he needs the ball a lot. He's going to need to get up a lot of shots. You got to adjust for that.
He's the guy.
Okay.
What we need, Whitey, is an epicenter, a sun, if you will. And the guy, and everything else revolves around the sun, revolves around. You get the guy, you get the leader, and then everything else revolves around.
Even if another team clearly would be deciding, we thought he was the sun, but he's not.
They also fired their head coach. There's some things they thinking about over there in Memphis. I don't think it's just all about Ja Morant.
Yeah, and Triple J could be about. But yeah, exactly. And I think it was evident in that game 3. I think was it game 3? Yeah, game 3 when Ja got hurt. How well they were playing him versus without
him. They were
him.
27 and they ended up losing, going away. Yeah.
How old is Ja Morant? 25, something like that. He is still young enough. 25 years old, turns 26 in August, Whitey. He's still got another 8 years of high-level basketball. Sign me up. And I understand, he's taking some bumps and bruises and injury situation, obviously. But we are right now in Sacramento. If we're talking about building a champion, not just making the playoffs, not just being in the play-in, I think this might be the time to swing for the fences.
How much would you be willing to give up for him? Not exactly. We're just getting started on this. I'm not going to pin you down to exactly.
Yeah.
But in general, couple
players, couple picks.
Yeah, it's going to take at least that.
Right? That's starting. Yeah, that would be my starting offer. Couple player, couple picks to get Ja Morant. He's the guy. He would be fantastic. Because here's the thing, Whitey. And I know
want him more than you want Schroeder.
Oh, come on.
Of course. Asking questions
I need a superstar, Whitey. I need a star, Sacramento. Because here's the thing that comes with Ja Morant, too, Whitey. National TV games. The recognition on ESPN that we so desperately crave for here. All NBA, all-star appearances. Ja Morant moves the needle when it comes to that kind of thing.
No question.
Those days of saying, bias against Sacramento and how come those would be over. Ja Morant moves the needle. He is headline material, and I think we need somebody like that.
I would like to see the Kings pursue that. I'm just asking questions.
Okay.
I'm just trying to get not to get carried away.
So you okay with Ja?
I definitely would pursue it.
You would pursue that? Okay. As long as it didn't, give up too much or
right.
Okay.
Right. And it does worry me that he needs the ball. If you want to have Ja, you want him to have the ball. I get that. I'm not saying he's selfish. It's like, of course, if you have him, he needs the ball. What does that do to Zach? What does that do to potentially DeMar?
Well, who knows who's left over?
Yeah.
Right? Who knows who's left over?
Right.
If you got to make a deal. To me, Ja, you build around him now. Sorry, everybody else, but if you get Ja Morant, it's not, well, how does Ja fit in with this guy? No. How do they fit in with Ja is the question we're asking.
I know I can't ask you, would you trade this guy for that guy? You can't do that.
I'll tap dance on that.
Yeah, you can't do that, but you ain't going to get him for DeMar DeRozan. Let me put it that way.
Hey, I'll leave that up to, Scott Perry to figure out. That's his job.
Yeah. 339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. It's interesting because we had this update over the weekend. Mark Stein on his Stein line.
Yeah.
He said this. What already seems clear in the Perry era, league sources say the Kings do not plan to initiate an offseason teardown, post Fox, flawed roster, blah, 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 blah. There is little expectation that Sacramento plans to take any further steps away from the playoff chase in the West. Fair enough, but those of us who actually attended the Scott Perry press conference, I think we knew that.
Right.
He didn't come out and say that, but it's pretty clear from what he did say, connecting the dots, that a teardown was not in order here. I'm still hoping there's something,
right,
a big shakeup. Okay, if you're not going to tear it down, fine, but there needs to be something needs to be shaken up. You can't just
Does it have
roll
to
it
happen
back,
now
run it
though?
back.
Does it have to happen this offseason to shake
I
up?
think
you
so, because to me, if you run it back, I think we already saw where fans are in this. They're kind of, I don't really care for this. So I think we all need, and every team needs that. Even good teams need a jolt going into the next year. If you have a team that's kind of and you just run it back, you're probably not going to win many games.
Here's the thing, though, Whitey, because Scott Perry says we need a point guard and size and athleticism. I'm throwing that out.
Really?
And I'm throwing that out, and here's why. And I'm not going against what Scott is saying. Just any old point guard ain't going to do.
No question.
Our issues, to me, are bigger than we just need a point guard. We need a leader. We need a floor general. We need a culture setter, if you will. We need a loud voice.
We need a focal point.
Right. And it always doesn't have to be your best player, but we need somebody that can galvanize the team on the court, off the court, in the locker room, on the road. One of the things that's an issue with our team is we got a bunch of guys that play basketball. But then the relationships don't go much beyond that, Whitey. We need, what's our culture? That's what I'm talking about. We need, if you go out, like Tyus Jones coming in here, no offense, Tyus, I'm just throwing out spitball in the name. He's not going to move the needle. You saw what happened in Phoenix. Phoenix thought he was the answer, and he had a minimal impact. So I think what we need, it'd be great to get a point guard who is also a culture person. I'm going to throw out a name. 5 years ago, this guy would have been perfect. Too old right now. Chris Paul.
Okay.
Not now, though.
But that's not what Ja would be? The guy.
No, yeah.
Okay,
that's why I'm all in on Ja.
All right.
He's a culture setter. He's a guy that's a leader that when you say, who's our guy, everybody knows. Ja walks in the room, that's the guy right there.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we need.
He's instantly the face of your franchise.
Exactly. And I just feel like, because we got talent. You need somebody to bring it together on the court, in practice, in summer, off season, whenever. Like, we need a connector off the floor as much as we need it on the floor, in my opinion.
The things that concern me about Ja, it has nothing to do with all the
Here you go,
stuff.
Eddie. Here you go.
No, it's pretty simple. It's pretty meat and potatoes-y. He's not a great shooter, and he's not going to be all defense. And those are still, to me, two glaring weaknesses on my team. I don't worry about all the Ja off the court stuff. I think was overplayed. I think he brings you a lot of things you need. But this team is not a very good shooting team, and they're not a great defensive team. And at some point, those things have to be addressed.
But here's where I'm throwing out at you. When I say bring in a guy like John Morant, all those things you just said, not a great shooter, not a great defender. Now you got to surround him with all those things. I don't think if you get a Ja, you're just going to instantly put him in and the roster is going to be set and everything like that. You're going to have to make some other moves as well. We talked about this. Ja is the epicenter. He's the guy you build around. Do you look at Domas? All right, Domas, do you fit with Ja? Zach, do you fit with Ja? That's the guy. And to your point about the shooting, three-point shooting and defense.
His defense hasn't been horrible.
It's not hard. I mean, it's not. Yeah. But that's why you go out there and surround him with shooters. Then you make him even more dangerous. Can you imagine Ja Morant with a floor full of shooters? Throw Ja Morant on there with Derek White, Porzingis, and those three-point shooters in Boston. Come on, man. He would be unstoppable.
Here's some comments in the text line here. If you get Ja, what happens if Ja doesn't want Doug Christie as a coach? From the 440, Ja would provide more distraction over his performance. That same person says, you guys are wrong and dumb to think Morant is your best player to have on the team. 209, DeRozan, Levine, and picks for Ja. Get it done for Star and stop with these second-tier, semi-star players the Kings currently have. That's a great point. That's what you're getting at, if I understand you correctly, because you need at some point a guy. Scott Perry said last week, we want to be, what do we want? Sustained competitiveness.
Yeah.
He didn't say Drapes. He didn't say, we want to win a championship. He basically said, we want to be good every year. Okay. Could we be really good? Could we try to be really good?
Right.
Well, you need a guy to do that.
Right. And exactly. Because even though they're about to get bounced out, Milwaukee has a guy, and they're in the mix every year. It may not wind up the way they won, but they got a championship. They're in the playoffs every single year. And so I think with us, and if you're building for a championship, we've talked about it on the show several times. You got to have a guy. You have to have a guy gets you into the postseason every year. A guy attracts other players.
The guy makes you relevant.
Makes you relevant in the league. And so somebody from the 916, this just came in a few seconds ago. Forget John Morant. Forget John Morant. John Morant. I was going to trade 6 first-round picks for John Morant. What about Devin Booker? He's the type of leader we need.
Apparently the Suns are not trading.
Yeah, he's not on the.
That's the guy they've decided they're building around.
Yeah, exactly. And the reason we're talking about this now is because the report that Memphis is, looking to maybe do some things this offseason.
We're assuming that he might actually be available.
Exactly. And so I think, to me, John Morant, he has some issues. We understand that. But even this year, he got them into the playoffs. Injured, team was banged up, guys that fired a coach, but they made the playoffs. In game 3, they had OKC on the ropes before he got hurt. I don't know, man. I think I'm not saying we need a full teardown. See, this is different, but maybe a retooling, a rebuilding. If you can get a star player like that.
It's still a long putt, and one of the things you need for that to happen, you'd need him to go, oh, I want to go there. And we have no reason to believe necessarily that he would want to do that, but it is something the Kings should be pursuing. Back with more on that with the Drive Guys. Drapes is back with us today, Sacktown Sports.
Live and local.
With everything 49ers.
Intercepted by Fred Warner. Dives for the end zone. Touchdown! San Francisco! Paul George went up and caught the ball. Touchdown!
The 49ers play on Sacktown Sports 1140.
What would it take for a plumbing company to earn your trust? Jerry and Kenny here from Bell Brothers. And let's face it, plumbing and service companies don't always have the best reputation.
So to earn your trust, the first thing they'd have to do is actually answer the phone when you call with a real live person. Then they'd have to send a plumber when you needed them, day or night, without charging extra for emergency services.
A trustworthy plumber would show up on time, wearing a clean uniform and name badge, and be able to show that they had passed a background check and drug test.
A plumber you could trust would give you a firm quote on the job before starting and clean up after they finish the job.
That's exactly the plumber you'll get when you call Bell Brothers. A plumber you can trust. Call Bell Brothers right now for all your plumbing needs. Our number is 916-444-1234 or find us online at thenosurpriseguys.com.
The No Surprise Guys, Bell Brothers.
Sacramento Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has the best truck on the market, the 2025 Ram 1500. And that's not an exaggeration. It's proven. It's the 7th time Ram has won the Motor Trend Truck of the Year. Car and Driver named it one of its 10 best vehicles of 2025, giving it a 10 out of 10. And at J.D. Power, it's #1 when it comes to brand vehicle quality. And hey, yeah, all that's great. But where Sacramento Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram really separates themselves from the pack is their car buying experience. Come on in and see for yourself why they say it's where a handshake still means something.
This is the story of the one who, as a maintenance specialist for a historic high-rise, knows that vintage charm historically needs constant attention. Which is why, when it's time to upgrade turn-of-the-century mechanicals, they turn to Grainger. With easy access to 1 million+ products and the scale to deliver when and where you need them, the right tools and supplies are never far away. So the one can keep that vintage building running like new. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
River Cats Baseball is back, and the Cats Pass is your ticket to every home game of the 2025 season. With unbeatable value, guest add-ons, and more, secure your season-long Cats Pass with the Sacramento River Cats at rivercats.com.
We just want to have enough money for retirement.
And travel to visit our grandchildren.
I understand. That's why at Fisher Investments, we start by getting to know each other so I can learn about your family, lifestyle, goals, and needs, allowing us to tailor your portfolio.
What about commission-based products?
We don't sell those. We're a fiduciary, obligated to act in your best interest.
So how do your management fees work?
We have a simple management fee based on the value of your portfolio, so we do better when you do better.
We appreciate that kind of transparency.
We also check in with you regularly to keep you up to date on the markets and your portfolio.
What other services do you offer?
As a client, you have access to resources on investing, financial planning, estate planning, Social Security, Medicare, and more.
Wow, it sounds like Fisher Investments has everything we need.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Your afternoon home for Kings talk and so much more. The Drive Guys on Sacktown Sports.
The idea of Ja Morant coming here, it's not overly well received here by those who are responding on the text line or in the chateau from the 916. Ja missed 32 games this regular season, got his coach fired because he didn't want to build his system around a guy who is always hurt or suspended. I don't think Ja got the coach fired. Obviously, he wasn't happy with things. I think that was more, I'm sure that was part of it, but I think that was the GM and the coach just not getting along. I'm sure Ja was part of it, but I don't think it was as simple as Ja going, he's got to go or I go.
Right. And, you know, remember before this past season, Taylor Jenkins had to retool his coaching staff at the behest of the front office. And Whitey, can you, read the last comment you just said. Was there a comment that you read or anything? Like, here's the thing, Kings fans, or maybe you didn't. Oh, yeah, because he got 35 games he missed and all that.
Yeah.
Kings fans we got to listen up here. We got to talk about realistic options, not pie in the sky options. We're not going out there and trading for Jason Tatum, Jalen Brunson, or anybody like that. Anybody we trade for is going to have a question mark. It just is what it is. Hell, even Kevin Durant going to Phoenix had a question mark. Injury situation, didn't win in Brooklyn. And so what we're talking about acquiring here is a player who's a potential star/superstar, but for one reason or another hasn't achieved the full team potential. And so there's a reason why Ja Morant might be available. It's because they didn't win. Well, come on over here. We can try to make it work. If he would have won and everything would have been perfect, he wouldn't be available.
Mm-hmm. That's a great point.
You know, it's like,
you're going to have to assume some risk.
Right.
It's like we had this discussion a few weeks ago when we were talking about Zion.
Yes.
And yeah, there are reasons why it might not work. But given where the Kings are right now, you can just kind of stuck in the middle with you. Well, we might win 41 this year, or you're going to make a move to bring in a big name, and there's going to be risk involved. We have this from the 916. Trae Young is the safest pick between Zion and Ja. Zion has never played one single playoff game in his career. Ja has maturity and health issues. Trae Young can actually shoot the three, get assists, and he's been to the Eastern Conference Finals. Come on. I don't know for certain that Trae Young's going to be available.
And I'm a Trae Young guy.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. And from what I've heard, he's gotten better at this. Is he a leader on that Atlanta Hawks team? And I'm not talking just on the floor. I'm talking behind the scenes. Is he a guy that everybody is lockstep following? I don't know.
He lost his composure in the play-in and had to apologize to his teammates.
Yeah, I do remember. Yeah. So, and I'm not opposed to Trae Young, but even he has some warts. The texter just talked about his offense. What about defensively, Whitey?
I haven't noticed it.
Right? So everybody that's being mentioned, unless you're telling me we're getting Giannis, is going to have some issues. And we're not in play for Giannis. That shouldn't even be a sports talk radio topic here in Sacramento. Let's call it what it is.
By the way, we were talking about this earlier. Jay and I, if I'm the Bucks, and even if I lose this series, it's not over yet. They could still advance. Doesn't look like they will. They could. But if I'm the Bucks, I'm doing whatever it takes to figure out a way to keep Giannis. The guys like Giannis, and there are many of them, top 5 players in the league who are generational players. If I have one of them, I want to keep him.
Right.
I want to keep that player and build around them. Because if I tear it down and let them go, I'm not getting another player like that probably ever.
Trading Giannis is like trading Luka. You're going to look back on it like, no matter what you get, it's probably not going to be enough. Unless it's Cooper Flag and like 5 number ones, Lowry marketing, and then a 3-way trade and throw in Devin Booker or something like, if for Giannis, I don't care if it's Brooklyn, you're not going to have enough to give up.
How about this? I'll throw it to you because it's directed to you.
Oh,
no offense, Drapes, but Ja doesn't appear to be a leader of men.
All I know is Ja has gone farther in the playoffs than anybody on our roster in the last 20 years wearing a Kings jersey. And, I look at Ja. One thing I seem to notice with him, his teammates got his back. His teammates follow him on the court, Whitey. It's not like he's a one-man wrecking crew and nobody else is involved. Like, they seem to follow him. Now, they just ran into a buzzsaw here in OKC. And let's not forget, they won 48 games here this season, 9-1-6. So let's not forget, they were number 2 seed a few years ago. Like, he's done some good things. And so I'm not saying he's a leader, like I need my son to follow him or anything like that. But as a basketball player, seems to do a pretty good job.
Yeah, and as far as all the distractions or off-court issues, that could cut both ways because there may not be as much demand for him as there would be. So you might be able to get him for less than it normally would take. And given where you are, I think that is a risk worth taking. Again, assuming that the particulars are something you can stomach.
I'm with you. I'm with you. It's because I feel like we're at a critical point now, Whitey, because I'm tired of the losing. Sacramento, you got to be tired of one playoff berth in the last, 19 years? It's time to take some risk. It's time, unless you're bottoming out. But you need to somehow either take some risk now or position yourself to when somebody does become available, even if it's this summer or at the trade deadline, to swing for the fences and do something bold.
You would have to give up a big salary or two to make that fit, obviously. Ja,
he's not making as much as people think.
34. You have to see where he goes from here.
And he got 2 years left on his deal, right?
Let's see. This year, wow, they have him on here. I'll have to double check spot track. He had 36.7 this year, 39.4 the year after that, 42.1 after that, and then 27.28, 44.8.
See, there you go.
That's
not bad, right?
I know, isn't that incredible? That's not that much.
I know.
44.8 million.
You're surprised by that, though, right? You're like, whoa, I'm on Spo track right now. I got it right here for you, Whitey, over the next couple of years.
So is he under contract for the next 3 after this?
Yeah, I got 25-26, 26-27, 27-28. Okay, so you got 3 years of Ja Morant. Come on, man. That's a no-brainer to me. That's a no-brainer. Because how else are we going to get the guy, Sacramento? Are we drafting the guy? Well, we're not going to have our pick probably this year, right? Like, what,
is Zach LaVine the guy? No.
Zach's not the guy. We're talking the guy.
Is Domas that guy? I don't think so.
So how are we getting it, Sacramento?
That's how. 339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. Javier from Vacaville. I think it's Javier from Vacaville.
Okay.
A number of Javiers call the show. Javier, how are you?
What's up, man?
Just wanted to, play your game, the Ja Morant theory, to see practically, in a closet sense, would you want to trade for the internet marksman assailant? And that deal would have to consume 3 guys.
Javi, are you on speaker?
Are you on? I can't hear you, Javi.
Are you on a speaker? Because we're having.
Can you hear me better now?
Yes.
All right, go
yes,
for it.
now
All
we can.
right.
Yes.
Let's try it.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Like I said, if you want to trade for the internet marksman assailant, you'd have to give up 2 guys and potentially 4. and make this logistically, would the Kings fans be out there open to? It would have to be a Sabonis, DeRozan, and 2 firsts, and you take on a Morant, Brandon Clark for a bench piece that can rebound and a little bit of length, athleticism that can play the 3-4 combo, maybe some small ball 5. But the kicker is to make all the salaries match. You got to throw in the infamous Sacramento, beloved son, Marvin Bagley, to make all the salaries match. If you're willing to give up Sabonis and 2 firsts for Ja Morant, I mean, hey, I'm just playing your game. I'm not opposed to it, but I can't trust that man with the cell phone in his hand. How am I going to trust him with my franchise?
So it sounds like you are not. It sounds like you are opposed to it. And that's
indifferent.
Fine. That's fine.
I'm indifferent. I'm indifferent. Because you think of Morant, it would be Morant. It would be Morant, Levine. You'd then have Keegan. You could kick. Let me think. You'd
have Valanciunas.
Resign Trey Lyles or Brandon Clark at the 4, and then you have Valanciunas on your bench. Keon, Malik. Do you resign the likes of McDermott, Crowder,
LaRavia, hopefully LaRavia.
Party's at 3rd. Yeah. Well, LaRavia, depending on what he wants to do financially.
Right. Yes.
And then you have him as your 3, and then your 4 would be Isaac Jones, or you put in Crowder or anybody of that sort. But I mean, that's not a starting 5, not a bad starting 5, but it's just you're going to have to trade a Sabonis-like caliber player. It's a big haul, but it's a big gamble, but a big reward. I just want to see if you guys think that type of risk. I'm indifferent. I want to see what y'all think. It'd be Sabonis, DeRozan, 2 firsts for Morant, Clark, and then Marvin Bagley would be the filler would probably be waived and agreed to buyout terms. But that's the only way financially to make it work, because they're going to want a Sabonis-like player back, sir.
Gotcha. Yeah, that makes sense. The funny thing is, if you trade Ja for Sabonis, and I know there'd be other parts, but you actually would be saving a lot of money on that.
You would. And let me just say, I don't think Memphis does that deal. They got Zach Edey and Triple J.
Yeah.
What are they going to do with Sabonis?
Yeah.
Sabonis would not be the centerpiece of a deal for Ja Morant. I don't think Memphis, unless you're sending back a Zach Edey also involved in it. And so it just doesn't make sense. And I will say this. When I look at where the Sacramento Kings are, we have talent. A couple of years we had a playoff berth. But that's all we have. It's not like we came 1 win away from an NBA Finals appearance or anything like that. To me, everything has to be on the table, Whitey, if you're Scott Perry. There can't be, I don't want to do this, I don't want to do that. Like, you're almost starting, it's like you have a rental property, if you will, or a house that you're trying to rehab. It's like, I want to keep this kitchen and I want to keep this bathroom.
You don't have anything that you should be that attached to.
Right. At this point. And like I said, we have talent. And so the question, I guess, with Scott Perry is, do you believe in this core? And that's up to him, obviously. And if so, maybe you make some tweaks. Maybe you do some minor moves. Maybe you go out there and sign a Dennis Schroeder this offseason or something like that. But that's up to, but if a Ja Morant is available, if a Zion is available, if it doesn't work out, what happens?
Yep.
You're missing the playoffs like you are now.
According to the well-respected Hoop Collective podcast, Ja Morant may be available. If you're a Kings fan, would you be interested? The conversation rolls on with the Drive Guys next on Sacktown Sports.
For more than half a century, contractors and trade professionals have relied on WeatherGuard for heavy-duty truck and van storage equipment, not just to protect their tools, but to protect their professional reputations. Whether it's inside or outside of work vehicles, a WeatherGuard badge means pros can trust that their hard-earned name is in good hands. Since 1968 and every day since, WeatherGuard has been protecting anything it takes to build a professional reputation. WeatherGuard, established in 1968, proven every day. WeatherGuard.com.
Thanks for calling Discover. This is Nia.
Hi, Nia. It's Jennifer. Did you know that Discover automatically doubles all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year?
Yeah, I work here.
Okay. I was just double checking. Get it?
Because Discover automatically doubles all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year?
Oh, you get me, Nia.
You could say that I double get you.
I guess we've taken it too far.
You earn, we match. Discover Cashback Match. See terms at discover.com/creditcard.
Spring into deals and save on seasonal projects at Lowe's. Right now, get 5 select 1-pint annuals for just $10. Plus, get a free 60-volt Toro battery when you purchase a select 60-volt Toro electric mower. Don't miss out on these fresh spring deals. Shop in-store or online today. Lowe's, we help, you save. Valid through 4/30 while supplies last. Actual plant size and selection varies by location. Excludes Hawaii.
Are you tired of your tee shots ending up in the adjoining fairway while the rest of your foursome is hitting it down the middle? Well, experts will tell you that being properly fitted for golf clubs will help you strike your drive center cut. The Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio and its team of trained PGA professionals are ready to help you get rid of your banana balls and duck hooks. Hagen Oaks Indoor-Outdoor Player Performance Studio fittings are available 7 days a week. Make yours today by calling 916-808-2531. That's 808-2531.
Power Business Technology is proud to be a 100% independent, locally owned and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer since 2021. Contact us today for all your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729, or visit us at powercopiers.com.
KHD 1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
Sacramento's official home of the 49ers.
San Francisco.
Sacktown Sports 1140.
Live and local, it's The Drive Guys. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sacktown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sacktown Sports app.
Here's the latest on Jimmy Butler with the Rockets tangling with the Warriors tonight. Jimmy Butler participated in morning shoot-around, according to ESPN. He has a game-time decision tonight with an LPC, left pelvic contusion. Oh, the Rockets may rue the day they squandered that opportunity Saturday night. Trish.
Yeah, they should have had that game.
No Jimmy, and I told Jay, the Warriors are not going to win without Jimmy.
Yeah,
they won without Jimmy.
They won without Jimmy. Dude, I mean,
Steph Curry.
Yeah, Steph Curry he's so amazing, man. Probably the most clutch player I've ever seen. I'm being honest. That guy has a flair for the dramatic, Whitey. Like, he's unstoppable, man. I hate to say it, but man, some of the shots he hit, like, you play great defense and it doesn't matter with him.
Now, I heard from you that you went back and forth with Bonte a little bit.
Yeah. Did you see Draymond the other night chasing down the officials?
Oh.
Did you see that one?
He was saying paint.
Oh, that too.
Yeah.
But did you, he thought he got fouled and then got up and sprinted towards the official, got up in his face. He should have been ejected, far as I'm concerned. Any other player, but they let Draymond get away with so much. And I'm watching them right now on the Sports Center. They're showing some highlights. So I text Bonte because.
See, why'd you do that? You set yourself up.
No, it wasn't that much of a back and forth. I said Draymond is a clown with the clown emoji. I texted him and Chris Mullin. I didn't hear anything back until 3.5 hours later. I don't disagree with that. Even they know it down there in San Francisco. This guy's act is run. It's old. It's tired. And the NBA and the officials let him get away with so much. He's awful. This dude needs to be out. He should have been ejected for that.
Probably, but the Warriors know that they need him, and the league knows that the Warriors need him, and they don't like to eject him because they like having the Warriors on TV. I mean, he is an incredible player. What he does, it's amazing, and the fit with that team, the way he organizes them at both ends of the floor, it is pretty incredible.
No, he is. He's supremely valuable to him, and I've always maintained he goes somewhere else. His value isn't, but he fits perfectly for what they do. Him and Steph have unbelievable chemistry. But my gosh, I mean, I pity Steve Kerr for having to deal with that. He's a headache every single night. Future Hall of Famer, 4-time champ, give him all those accolades. And then you see the league had to come up with some bogus award to give him. What was it that they gave him last? He didn't win Defensive Player of the Year. Oh, you guys talked about that?
Remember, Jay? We were both saying we didn't know that.
Hustle Award. What? Yeah. I didn't hear about no finalists for the Hustle Award all of a sudden.
We were saying we didn't even know it was a thing, and they've been given away for about 8 years now.
And usually they announce the finalists, right? How come they didn't announce the finalists for the Hustle Award? Because nobody knew it was one going on.
Yeah, and then Steph won one today that the
Teammate of the year.
Teammate
of the year. I've heard of that one.
Yeah.
The Hustle Award? Who's the Hustle Award named after? Anybody know? Remember?
Charlie Hustle.
Charlie Hustle, right? But that's like, Draymond, I'm not a fan of his. I'm not a fan. Real quick, back to our conversation, though, Whitey, because sometimes I encourage people to text in 916-339-1140. Encourage people to call 916-33. But sometimes they just 916. I take TJ McConnell over John Morant. Nick says that.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, man. Really? You co-signing that, Whitey?
No, I know where he's coming from, though. I don't, but I know what he's saying. But the thing is, Nick, you need to up your talent level. TJ McConnell will be a nice fit. If you had a really good team, there's just like, we need a point guard. That's the only thing the Kings need. And then, woo, here they go.
Right.
But they're not there. They're not there.
Yeah.
Hustle Award, interesting things here. We might see where you're coming from.
TJ McConnell.
By the way, you know who my pick was last week for the point guard the Kings could use?
No,
but they can't. I don't think they can get him. When I talked to Jerry, I texted Jerry. Jerry said perfect fit. Andrew Nembhard, but you can't get him.
He's a combo guard. That's what I think.
Yeah,
but he's a point guard before he was playing with Halliburton. He has to be a combo guard on that team.
Nah,
they they consider him part of their core.
Did they just sign him?
Recently, like a 3 year. It's not a lot.
Not
of money.
a lot, but yeah, they're not going. And what will we give up? That's our issue. I feel like, Whitey, is, and I said this during the break, our assets aren't going to get us a whole lot in terms of, like, why would Indiana want a DeMar or somebody like that? Like, they don't
want Sabonis back.
They don't want Sabonis back. Hey, give me Miles Turner.
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you that. I'll take a Miles Turner. I don't envy Scott Perry because he has a very difficult job. He has to remake this roster with assets that aren't as valuable to other teams.
Didn't you think it was interesting that he said there's some talent here? Now I know it's tricky for him. He can't say, "Oh, this team's loaded with talent."
Right.
But he didn't. He was kind of non-committal. He's like, "There's some talent here."
Do you think the way he said that, because we were both at the press conference, do you think that was we got talent to compete here, or just lip service? There's some talent here.
I think some of it is, if it were me, I would be saying that because I'm protecting myself. I just got it. I'm not going to say this team's loaded with talent.
Oh,
then let's go.
All right. Okay. I see what you're saying. I mean, we do have talent. We just don't have talent that mixes and meshes well together. That's our problem.
Chris, the mom, checks in with league should give Draymond the same award that actually someone else. League should give Draymond the same award that Kevin Hart won during the All-Star. But Chris, the mom, says, I'm tired of Draymond's actions, especially against the Kings. But I wouldn't mind if he was on the Kings. His basketball IQ is what we need for our young players. Chris, the mom.
Draymond is one of those guys. You love him on your team. You hate him when he's on another team. And some Warriors fans are tired of his act too. He's one of those necessary evils,
Here's my least favorite text of the day.
Oh,
from the 916. Jose Alvarado, Pajemski can develop into leaders of a team.
What?
Nothing against those guys or whoever sent that, but we're talking about an elite level player who can make your franchise relevant. Not some guy who can come on and say, "Come on, guys, let's get scrappy."
We're talking about a potential Finals MVP, basically. Somebody that can rise to that level.
Yeah,
not just
those are nice pieces, but the Kings need a bigger fish for the tank right now.
How about this
Shouldn't
guy?
say tank, sorry.
How about this guy? People are throwing out there, Desmond Bane.
I like him.
Yeah, I like him too.
I think he's a dog.
He's more of a go ahead.
No, and I've seen him take over series. I've seen him take over part of a season, and I think he is the type of person that could stretch out a little bit more than what he is. Meaning, where he's set with the position where he's at with the Grizzlies. I think if he took his own team, I think he would be a lot better than I think people would recognize him more than when he's recognized.
He's a great shooter.
Yeah.
I don't think
he's a dog too, though.
If I have Zach LaVine, I don't think I have room for Desmond Bane because neither one of them can really play forward.
Right.
Zach's kind of a stretch, and I don't have enough minutes for both of them. Desmond Bane is awesome.
He's your starting one, though.
He's not a point guard, though.
Yeah. And how about this, guys? I just looked this up. Desmond Bane's contract this upcoming season, 36.7. Following season, 39.4, 42, 44.8.
He's a really, really, really good
So to get a guy like Desmond Bane, you got to give up a bigger name on your roster.
Mm-hmm.
Are we willing to do that? And why would Memphis do? Like to Jay's point, I mean, right now he's 26, I think he is.
Ja supposedly may become available. We have no reason to think that Desmond Bane's going to be
right. Exactly. And I don't know if you get a Desmond Bane, how much that moves the needle towards becoming a champion. Do you go from 9 seed to what? 7 seed? 8 seed? Desmond Bane, and then who's your core? Domas, Bane. I don't know who else is on. Keegan, maybe?
916 says, yes, Bane's Booker, the type, exactly what we need. But those guys are not
available.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to be.
And let me stretch it out a little more for you, Drapes. And I see where you're going. I think Bane has one more step up the ladder.
Oh, you think he could?
I think he can escalate to being an all-star. I'm not sure he has the opportunity, and I believe he's overlooked there. It could be Ja Morant is coming up available because maybe they're like, you know what, we're gonna go ahead and throw Bane the lob, and you're the guy. Like, I think he's shown and proven that when, he's taken on playoff series by himself, and I say that meaning as a guard, he's taken on, parts and stretches of a season where he's averaging 25 a game.
Well, he showed us here how.
Oh, he kills the Kings.
Good.
He kills the Kings. No doubt about it. But I just think he has one more level to move up. He's got one more floor to do it. Now, if he does it, he does. But if he doesn't, he's a good ball player.
How about this real quick, guys? Any concerns about injury for him? I'm looking at his games played here, Whitey.
Desmond Bane, he's had back problems.
69 this past season, solid. Season before that, 42.
Yeah, he's had.
Before that, 58.
He's had back problems.
He definitely.
Yeah.
He sits on the sideline with a little.
Yeah, those are
rap. Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah. But again, I don't have any reason to believe he's available. Ja may actually be available.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Here's another name. Oh, I have a new least favorite text. Well, look at that. When we come right back, Drive Guys on Sacktown Sports.
Stay up to date on Sacramento sports. Join the Sacktown Sports 1140 newsletter. Visit SacktownSports.com.
Our daughter Jessie loves playing detective.
A clue. But since we discovered she has sensitive skin, we've been playing detective too.
We thought the problem was our puppy.
But it was actually our old detergent. Aha. So we switched to Tide Free and Gentle. Tide Free and Gentle provides an excellent Tide clean, and it doesn't leave behind irritating residues like dyes or perfumes, so it's gentle on your skin. Case closed. If it's got to be clean, it's got to be Tide Free and Gentle.
Thy ticket, Lady Jennifer of Coolidge.
Well, many thanks, good sir. Hereeth my Discover card.
They accept Discover at Renaissance fairs?
Yeah, they do here. Discover is accepted at the places I love to shop. Getteth with the times.
With the times? You're playing the lute.
Yeah, and it sounds pretty good, right?
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2024 Nielsen report.
It's Carmichael Dave talking to you about my good friends at American Energy. You're in the Sacramento area. You know how the seasons work. They are a-changing right now. So American Energy wants to help you stay warm for the rest of the cold season, but help you stay cool during the warm season. Best way to do that, make sure your system is operating safely. So right now is the time to take advantage of half off a tune-up, $24.50. They cut that right in half, and if you want a diagnostic, guess what? You can't beat free. If it's free, it's me, and now it can be you. And also, it's the end of the season blowout. $4,000 off a new system plus any rebates. That $4,000, that's a direct drop from the sticker price. It's a great deal. Check them out at theaeway.com or an instant quote, or give them a call at 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990. Tell them your good buddy Carmichael Dave sent you.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Live and local, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., Monday through Friday. Sacktown Sports.
I don't mean to take shots at anybody who texts us or calls in, because we appreciate that you listen. But this is a name that just came up here from the 916, and thank you for texting us and participating. Every time I hear this guy's name, I just, facepalm, and I hear his name a lot for the Kings, Fred VanVleet. I don't.
Not a VanVleet guy?
No. He's just not a very good shooter. He makes a lot of money.
But is he a tone setter? I'm just asking.
I don't think so. I don't think he helps the Kings in ways that they need help right now. He's obviously had a nice career. He's got a ring, championship ring. He was a guy coming off the bench, right, for Toronto. It's like, man, this guy's really good. Yeah. And I think he's a little overexposed on the Rockets right now. He's having a nice career, and, they got some things they have to figure out going forward. But I don't see him as the guy that's going to bring it all together for the Kings. I see him in some ways adding to the shooting woes. So I'm not, me personally, you guys may love Fred VanVleet. I'm not a big Fred VanVleet guy.
Player option, $44.8 million.
I'm with you, Whitey. I think he's, no disrespect to him, I think he's overrated for what he does. Yeah.
Of course, he's on Drape's Rockets. I don't mean to.
Yeah, my squad. No, but, and I agree with you guys about Fred VanVleet. That's not the answer for us, because even if you add him, are you really a championship contender? Are you really going to make that much noise?
Well, let's be honest. You got to make quite a few changes to be a championship contender.
And he's 30, I think, right now, or close to it. And so when it's time to be a championship contender, is he your point? No, he's 31 right now, Whitey.
Mm-hmm.
Turns 32 in February. Yeah, that's not the answer.
That's another thing, as someone points out here. The Kings they're not a young team.
Right.
I think you want to get some youth, some of those youths. Add some youths.
You know what? I think
Cole Anthony gets a mention from Mustache Spider.
How about this? Do you think, and I'm going to go back to John Morant, do you think a core of John Morant, Sabonis, and Keegan Murray, how do you feel about that? Because the reason I ask that, and I've been, back and forth on Keegan, it might be time to let him cook a little more. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Give him a bigger opportunity, more on his shoulders offensively.
Can we run a lot of high pick and roll with Domas? Because we'd have to do that with Keegan in the corner and run some of that, some of that action.
Yeah.
I don't know that Ja's a big dribble handoff guy. I think he wants to run that pick and roll.
He'll
pick and roll you to death.
Roll. Yeah.
If you're going to have him on your team, you got to commit to the pick and roll. Otherwise, if you're not, then move on.
Man, Scott Perry, I don't envy you, big dog. I know you're listening right now, but my gosh, you got to figure something out.
He only listens to the morning show because that's the show he was on.
No, he said he just was listening to us last week.
Oh, was he?
Yeah, when I went up to him afterwards. I'm like, hey, Kyle.
Why'd he stop being
negative? Right? Oh, come on, man. He was like, I was just listening to you guys last week or something like that. He said,
all right.
Come on, Whitey. Come on now. He's listening to the #1 sports talk radio show in town. Come on now.
I was giving the morning show some credit because I had him on. Because when I mentioned me and you to him, he was looking around like, what?
Oh, yeah. Don't get me started on that, man. I'll get my blood pressure up here today, Whitey. I'm doing good, man.
Yeah, but he's getting reacclimated to the area.
I look at the chores that he has to, and I know he wants to build, sustained success. Here's the thing. DeMar's what, 35, about to be 36? Does he want to still be here? You know what I mean? Or does he want to contend for a title these last few years?
I'd be surprised if he wants to be here.
Right.
Really surprised.
And that's probably the move that, Scott Perry makes, like in terms of trade chip. But where can you send him and actually get good value, somebody that can help you out? Because a contender's not giving away a key piece.
You never know. Years ago, the Kings had a guard named Derek Martin.
Yes.
And he didn't play, and he was not happy about not playing. And on his birthday, he scored 11 points in 2 minutes or something. And every time he scored, he stared down his own coach. He stared down Adelman. It was blatant. It was just, and people were talking about
his own coach.
His teammates were talking about it. He was a free agent that year. He came back the next year.
He re-signed.
It's one of the most biggest surprises I've ever seen in my life in basketball. So all I'm saying is you just never know. So I'm not assuming DeRozan's gone. And it's nothing like that. I'm not saying that you had, angst between the coaches and DeMar DeRozan. I'm just saying I look at it and I go, wow, he's probably not going to be back, but we'll see.
Yep. And he came back, huh? Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah.
Should I read this from the 916?
Yes.
All these roster conversations make me laugh, as if anything's ever going to change as long as Vivek, I'll bleep that part out, still owns the team. You guys are smoking something crazy, and I want some.
Just a couple of years ago, they had a massive roster change.
Right, and they made the playoffs.
Massive roster.
Yeah, so what are we talking about? What are we talking about here? Trae Young is the point guard we want. He is the guy for us. Ja is not the answer. All right, Kings fans, Trae Young or Ja Morant? Who you want?
How many shots does Trae Young take? He takes a lot of shots, doesn't he? That's
just
the way he plays.
He actually dialed it back a little this year, Whitey. I will say that. I think he dialed it back in terms of his attempts. I got it right here. Not much, though. He took 18.1 shots. Last year, 18.7, 19, 20.3. So,
yeah,
I'm
not saying, that's bad. I'm just saying, I got to fit that in with what I already have. That's all I'm saying.
The question is, though, if you get one of these big names, you're probably clearing out two guys, that need shots, probably. Ja Morant, meanwhile, this past season, Whitey, 17.8 shots. Year before that, 18.9, 19.9.
Ja does not shoot the three ball well. He had like one or two decent years, but overall,
he's a 31% for his career. But he's so good. He's so good otherwise. Points in the paint, assist, 7.3, 8.1, 8.1, multiple time All-Star. I'm all in on this dude, man. I really think. But my only question, how would he feel about being in Sacramento?
Right. A huge question. We have to assume if they're going to pursue it, then there's some reason to think he's on board. When you look at why you like that idea, how much of it is basketball fit on the floor, basketball reasons, and how much of it is just what he brings you in terms of his stardom?
I think,
for you personally,
I think a big reason is basketball, because I'm watching Ant Edwards go at LeBron and Luka. We need a guy like that. And I think Ja has that inside of him. On the biggest of stages, he's not backing down from anybody. I think that's what we need. The problem we have right now is no matter if we made the playoffs, no matter what potential playoff matchup we had, the other team would have the best player. When you have a guy like Ja Morant, there's a chance you might have the best player in that series. Right now, I don't think we have that.
And if you really want to do anything meaningful, you need that guy. All the teams still playing. Maybe Houston, there's a question about it, but all the teams that have a shot at doing anything, they all have their guy.
Their guy.
Kings need their guy.
Their guy.
And Fred VanVleet is
not the guy.
So, guy.
916, Whitey, here you go. Morant, Levine, Sabonis, Keegan Murray. It's growing on me.
Yeah.
Somehow. And then somebody says, same guy says, Sacramento might be the change he needs.
Maybe. Yeah. Certainly worth taking a look at.
Yes.
If you're Scott Perry. I don't know if he has any connections. Scott Perry, any connections? He's got connections.
I'm sure
all
he
over.
does. Yeah, I'm sure he does.
We'll take a look at the NFL draft when we come back. 49er fan, guess who drew Pro Football Focus's lowest draft grade? We're going to find out when Cam Inman is going to join us from the Bay Area News Group next on Sacktown Sports.
This is the story of the one who, as a maintenance specialist for a historic high-rise, knows that vintage charm historically needs constant attention. Which is why when it's time to upgrade turn-of-the-century mechanicals, they turn to Grainger. With easy access to 1 million+ products and the scale to deliver when and where you need them. The right tools and supplies are never far away. So the one can keep that vintage building running like new. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
You ever try fixing your car and realize you're missing that one part? Yeah, been there. That's why eBay's my go-to. They've got millions of parts, guaranteed to fit. I'm talking brake pads for when yours have seen one too many miles of stop and go. Oil filters, because you don't mess around with your engine care. Even got this cold air intake on my watch list. I might just go for it. To keep the ride cool and your DIY streak hot. Find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. eBay. Things people love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
There's no better time than now to get yourself into a brand new Jeep because it's Jeep Adventure Days at Sacramento Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, offering the best deals in town and a selection other dealers are jealous of. Stop on by. They're just off of Business 80 across from Hagen Oaks Golf Complex. Sacramento Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram.
Sacramento's premier country music festival, Country in the Park, is coming back May 16th and 17th at Cal Expo with Bailey Zimmerman, Billy Currington, Cole Wetzel, Nate Smith, and more. You'll enjoy food trucks, rock walls, and a mechanical bull, line dancing, and more. Single-day GA tickets start at $52 at CITPFest.com. Country in the Park, May 16th and 17th with Sky River Casino, Hop Valley Brewing, and Naturewood Home Furnishings. Find out more at CITPFest.com.
River Cats baseball is back, and the Cats Pass is your ticket to every home game of the 2025 season. With unbeatable value, guest add-ons, and more, secure your season-long Cats Pass with the Sacramento River Cats at rivercats.com.
Only one radio program captures the excitement of hunting and fishing as it happens. The award-winning California Sportsman with Sep Hendrickson. Only California Sportsman takes you where the action is. Live on the water, live in the blind, and live with the top pros and experts in outdoor sports. California Sportsman with Fishing Hall of Famer Sep Hendrickson is your premier destination for all things outdoors. Sep's Saturday Morning Outdoors. Ultimate Bass and California Sportsman, 5 a.m. to 8 a.m. Saturdays on Sacktown Sports 1140.
Disturbed. Live. Oh, wow. Get up, come on, get down with the 25th anniversary of the 5-time platinum album, The Sickness. 2 sets, 1 show, The Sickness in its entirety, and greatest hits with special guests, Daughtry, and nothing more. Friday, May 9th, Golden One Center. Tickets are on sale now at Ticketmaster.com. Disturbed. Live. Much more. The Drive Guys on Sacktown Sports.
How much NFL draft did you watch, Drapes?
Honestly, sure. 0. Dude, I'm grooving and moving. I'm shaking and baking out there. I'm in the streets. Unfortunately, I'm not at home watching the draft. And it was on during NBA playoffs. So I was tapped into the playoffs for sure.
I think it did better numbers in the NBA playoffs, but I'm not positive about that.
I wouldn't be surprised.
People love it. You didn't get caught up in all the Shedeur Sanders drama.
I mean, I was following it on social and stuff like that, but I didn't watch I didn't watch Mel Kiper's rant or anything like that live or anything like that. So.
Yeah. Well, our next guest covering the draft, getting paid to do it, and doing it very well, from the Bay Area News Group, 49er beat writer for the San Jose Mercury News, Cam Inman. How are you today, Cam?
I have recovered from draft weekend. I'm good, thanks.
How about that?
All right,
We're
Cam.
good.
Okay.
Cam, I saw that Pro Football Focus gave the 49ers, I think it was a D.
Yeah.
How much sleep is Kyle going to lose over that grade from Pro Football Focus?
There's probably as much as the victory laps he did in 2021 when everybody gave the Niners an A for drafting Trey Lance. It doesn't mean anything. All these we spend so much time on mock drafts and grading things. It makes no sense. So no, I don't think they're bothered at all by it. I mean, the fact that they got an 11-man draft class, which is the Niners' biggest under Shanahan and Lynch since they came aboard in 2017. So if it's not quality, they got quantity, and there's usually a couple good gems in there. So what they needed to do this draft was obviously rebuild the defense, and that's what they did with the first 5 picks and then a couple more down the road.
Hey, Cam, how do you think they did? Because, you're right, they rebuilt the defense, but people are wondering, where's the offensive lineman at? How come you didn't beef up the offense until the 7th round? How do you think the Niners did?
Can you ask me in 3 years? Let's just call me back in 3 years.
Okay.
All right.
So it's been nice, guys. Have a great Monday.
Does 3:30 work for you? 3 years from now, 3:30? Is that good?
I mean, here's the deal. Like I go, whatever, no matter what, they're drafting a defensive lineman first overall. First for their pick. And then I go, preferably it's a defensive end because too many times defensive tackles are busts. You need a playmaker. And that's going to come from the defensive end. So I like the fact that they went out and got one with pick number 11 and Mykel Williams out of Georgia. So that's good. And he's not like this bona fide just pass rusher. He's a guy that's going to set the edge and help their run defense. Because the run defense became really bad last season. Everybody was running for 100 yards on them like the last couple months of the year. It was bad. So I like that. And then they got their big defensive tackle on Alfred Collins in the 2nd round. They got another defensive tackle on CJ West in the 4th round. So that's cool. And then the 3rd round, they got a guy named Nick Martin as a linebacker, and they talked him up as if he's going to be like Dre Greenlaw, that's too heavy of an assessment to give a kid before we've even seen him play. But if he's a run and hit guy, cool. I guess that'll work because they need something. And he's going to have next to Fred Warner. So anybody that plays next to the best player in football at their position, that kid's going to be pretty good. It helped Aaron Banks play next to Trent Williams on the offensive line. So it should help Nick Martin play next to Fred Warner. And then at nickelback in the 3rd round, they got a guy named Upton Stout. And I'll tell you, if you guys find the audio that the Niners posted of this kid's congratulatory call from the draft room, it's basically the mantra for this coming season because he, in an 88 seconds, he gets passed from John Lynch to Shanahan to the owner, Jed York, and he's just hollering, let's do it, let's do it, let's do it. And everybody in the room starts chanting it too because everybody all of a sudden have this optimism and they're excited about a new beginning. And I think that's pretty much sums up what the 49ers need going into this year.
Cam Inman, our guest from the Bay Area News Group. Cam, I know the 49ers were a little nervous about this draft because they had so many free agency defections. Some of that was by design. Realistically, to your point, I know no one knows how these guys are going to do, and you'd love for every one of them to be a Hall of Famer. But realistically, how many defensive starters do you think they need to get out of this draft class this year?
Well, they need at least 2 for the defensive line. That's got to be Williams and probably Collins, but it could be West, the other defensive tackle. Do they need Nick Martin to step in right away? Probably not, because if he's not quite ready, they have D. Winters, who started games last year. He just wasn't consistent enough in place of Greenlaw. And then obviously he couldn't beat out Devondre Campbell in training camp, which was a really bad sign for the Niners and for Devondre Campbell and for D. Winters. The secondary is young, and they have 2 starting quarterbacks in place in Deommodore Lenoir and Ronaldo Green, so that's fine. The problem is at safety, and we found out after the draft that Malik Mustafa, who had a really good, encouraging rookie year, well, it turns out he tore his ACL in that season finale, and we found out about it 4 months later once the draft was over. So that was a big where did all the optimism go? But it also makes sense on why they went out in free agency and brought in 2 veteran safeties, and Jason Pinnock and Richie Grant. They're not household name starters, but they have experience until Mustafa's ready to play, or if Jair Brown is able to reclaim the starting job. And then they did finally. I mean, they did use a draft pick on a safety in Marquise Sigel, who's really fast. But it was a 5th rounder, so I don't think anybody expects a 5th rounder to step in right away and start. But the way this defense was, like you said, there was They got rid of so many guys in March, and they didn't bring them back, or they didn't go out in free agency and spend big money. And so that's why they needed reinforcements through the draft, and they need those reinforcements to be ready to play in about 4 months.
Cam Inman joining us, 49ers reporter for the Bay Area News Group. Cam, let's go to the other side of the ball. How would you evaluate the wide receiver room for San Francisco, and could Jordan Watkins, be a big boost for them this season, do you think?
I don't think so. I mean, Jordan Watkins is fast, right? He's another like 4.37 guy, a quick guy they'll like to say he'll stretch the defense to take the top off. But for the most part, that receiving room is in flux. It's when is Brandon Ayuk going to be healthy enough in his ACL comeback? I mean, I don't think it's out of the question that Brandon Ayuk's back in week 1. Just the way he was moving around towards the end of last season, a couple of months after surgery, that gave me optimism. It depends on how the medical staff feels how he's coming along. Juwan Jennings had a 975-yard season last year, kind of really broke out. To me, they don't use him enough, and it's almost like in case of emergency, break glass and throw to Juwan Jennings, and that's why he's had some big games here and there. But he's going into a contract year, and he needs to get paid just like Brock Purdy, just like George Kittle, just like Fred Warner. But also, that's why they also drafted Ricky Pearsall in the first round last year to try to stock up some talent there. And I think Ricky ended his year pretty darn good. He had like a couple good games at the end, which was just a miraculous comeback from getting shot in the chest on Labor Day weekend, and which kind of exemplified how the dark cloud that hung over the whole team all year long. So it's not the most seasoned receiving group, but as long as George Kittle and Christian McCaffrey are part of that receiving targets, then that bodes well for Brock Purdy.
Cam Inman's our guest. Cam, I know we touched on offensive linemen a moment ago, but if I'm not mistaken, John Lynch suggested that the 49ers might have taken an offensive lineman earlier, but the guys they wanted were already gone. Is that pretty much how they ended up with just Connor Colby as the only offensive lineman they picked?
Yeah, he was a 7th round pick, and he's a guard. Regardless of who got picked ahead of them, they needed to pick defensive players. So I don't care if people have an outcry of, well, they didn't get a tackle. Well, okay, the only starting caliber tackle you're going to get is usually one of the top 10, right? They're picking 11, and defensive end was a bigger priority for them. So I don't have as much of a problem with them bypassing offensive linemen in the first couple rounds, especially when the offensive line coach is on record last year saying, use your top picks on skill position guys because I can develop other guys.
Right.
But they haven't drafted an outright offensive tackle since 2021, and that was Jalen Moore in the 5th round. The other tackle they drafted, they drafted tackles each year before that. McGlinchey was a 1st rounder. Justin School was a 6th rounder in 19. And then McKivitz they found in the 5th round in 2020, but they cut him after a year and then brought him back. So tackle's a really tricky thing in the NFL. Everybody thinks you can go out and just go get an offensive tackle, you'll be fine. They don't exist. Every team would have them. It's really hard to find a top-notch offensive tackle. But the problem with the Niners is right now, if Trent Williams gets hurt at age 37 this season, and if Colton McKivitz skips town after his contract expires after the season, then you're in real dire straits because you don't really have any contingencies. They're going to try to convert Spencer Burford. This is where I lose the audience because we start talking interior and exterior offensive linemen. But Spencer Burford was a guard. He lost his job. He blew it in the Super Bowl and pretty much sat on the bench last year. But they're going to try to convert him into a swing tackle and see how that goes, which is not the greatest plan. But you have so many other holes to fill as you try to recapture playoff contention roster.
Cam, I was going to ask you about that. You talked about so many holes to fill. How much do you think how many holes do you think they've actually filled, and what's left to do before camp opens up and the season begins?
Well, it's a whole different situation than a year ago or even 2 years ago when they had a Super Bowl contending roster, and it was mainly, okay, let's get some depth here. Let's just add some pieces in case people get hurt. And so much went wrong last year. And then I don't want to say they blew up the team because it's not a total rebuild. It's not a rebuild when you have McCaffrey and Williams and Bosa and Warner and Kittle and Purdy. they can still be a very good team. It really is contingent on how these reinforcements, these young players adapt, how NFL ready they are. And you're getting some guys that they were in the college ranks for 5 or 6 years. Some were in for 3 years. A lot of the guys were transfers. So last year they had a pretty good draft class. I'm not going to say it was great because we still don't know for sure how it's going to pan out, but they got way more production than expected. I mean, Dominic Pooney was here we go again, offensive lineman. He established himself as a day one starter in training, and he only missed one snap the entire year, and it was fantastic. I don't think you can expect that out of 11 draft picks you just got this past weekend, but it's a start, and it's the evolution of the NFL. You have to bring in young talent. Otherwise your roster gets old really fast. I think the Niners got really old last year, and they cut loose 20 guys. And there's not one player that left the organization where I said, man, they're going to regret that. I think they had moved on from everybody, and that includes Dre Greenlaw, who was such an injury risk. I don't know why they tried to make a last-ditch effort at him other than sentimentality, and obviously he played great for them in years past, but he was a major injury risk. And then a report comes out after the draft that he hurt his quadriceps recently in training with getting ready for the Broncos season. So they kind of dodged a bullet there with him. But, overall, I think the 49ers are feeling pretty good about themselves. I don't think they're sticking their chests out like they were a year ago saying, we're going to go after the Super Bowl again. I think right now they're going, all right, let's get some competition in here. Let's earn it. And let's surprise everybody, because right now they're the hunter rather than the hunted.
Cam, thank you so much. Congratulations on making it through another draft. We appreciate your time and your information as always. We hope to talk to you again soon.
I'm going to do my victory lap now. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you.
All right.
Cam Inman. My favorite Cam moment years ago was, I think, Jimmy's last year when he was playing for the 49ers. He had this kind of a love-hate relationship with fans. He was up, he was down. And I was talking to Cam around Halloween, doing an interview with him, and I asked him, if Jimmy Garoppolo's a candy, Halloween candy, what is he? And he didn't miss a beat. He goes, oh, it's easy, Junior Mints. I was like, yeah. he was
right. Okay. All right.
When we come back, who's the biggest undrafted player to sign with an NFL team? That's an easy one. We have that for you next. And the Kings conversation continue as well here. Drive Guys on Sacktown Sports. Be right back.
Malik Monk plays here.
Left, goes right, steps back, launches the three. Nothing but net. Oh, that was just filthy. Oh, my, that was sweet.
Sacktown Sports is your proud home of the Sacramento Kings.
You know what's better than a limited time deal? An unlimited time deal. That's why the Wendy's $5 Biggie Bag with a Junior Bacon Cheeseburger, 4-piece nugs, Junior Hot and Crispy Fries, and small soft drink is available all the time. Because the best time for fresh, never frozen beef and Applewood smoked bacon is all the time. Duh. I feel like I'm repeating myself a lot. For the best deal of all time, gotta be Wendy's.
Unlimited time does not mean forever. U.S. price and participation may vary. Prices may be higher in Alaska, Hawaii, and California via third-party delivery. Fresh beef available in the contiguous U.S., Alaska, and Canada.
Thy ticket, Lady Jennifer of Coolidge.
Well, many thanks, good sir. Hereeth my Discover card.
They accept Discover at Renaissance fairs?
Yeah, they do here. Discover is accepted at the places I love to shop. Getteth with the times.
With the times?
You're playing the lute. Yeah, and it sounds pretty good, right?
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2024 Nielsen report.
Hey there, I'm Jack.
And I'm Stag.
We're just two deer that want to make sure you know it's deer season at your authorized John Deere dealer. The deer season that saves bucks. You know, like us.
Yeah, you can get $3,000 off select John Deere machines. No early wake-up calls or tree stands required.
Just a trip to your authorized dealer before June 2nd.
If you ask us, it's the only deer season worth celebrating.
Visit johndeere.com/deer season to find an authorized dealer and for complete finance details.
Ready to order?
Yes. We're earning unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with a Capital One Saver card. So let's just get one of everything.
Everything?
Fire everything. The Capital One Saver card is at table 27 and they're earning unlimited 3% cash back.
Yes, chef. This is so nice.
Had a feeling you'd want 3% cash back on dessert.
Ooh, tiramisu.
Earn unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with the Capital One Saver card. Capital One, what's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Power Business Technology is proud to be a 100% independent, locally owned and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a Toshiba ProMasters Elite dealer since 2021. Contact us today for all your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729 or visit us at powercopiers.com.
Hello, Sacramento. I'm Emran Plati, owner of True Sports Cards and Collectible Store here in Rockland, California, and the host of the True Sports Cards Show that airs right here on Sacktown Sports 1140 every Saturday from 10 to 11 a.m., where we discuss the latest trends, hottest products, and deliver exclusive interviews with other industry leaders. And don't forget to visit our shop, True Sports Cards, at 6661 Stanford Ranch Road in Rockland and see what we have for all your sports card and memorabilia needs.
It's the final days of the spring sales event. Drive home your new Honda before the deals and the new Hondas disappear. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Looking to own or lease? During the spring sales event, drive a brand new Accord or Civic. Visit us today at folsomlakehonda.com, your one-stop Honda shop.
As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our #1 priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
The IMSA WeatherTech Sports Car Championship is back for another thrilling season at Monterey's iconic WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca, May 9th through the 11th. Only in Monterey can you experience a high-octane mix of international drivers, cutting-edge prototypes, and GT sports cars racing wheel to wheel. There'll be gourmet food, wine, craft beers, family entertainment, and exclusive fan engagement with the drivers in the open race paddock. Buy your tickets now and experience world-class motorsports. Visit WeatherTechRaceway.com.
Live and local, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., Monday through Friday. Sacktown Sports.
Good to have Kyle Draper back. In your endeavors with your time off, did you happen to go see Sinners at all, the big smash?
No, I didn't. I did.
That guy saw it over the weekend.
How was it, Jay?
My bad. I gave it a 6.5 out of 10.
What? He said going in, he said
it.
he's not a big fan, A, of movies, B, horror movies. So he said, because I was excited to find out how it was going to be. He said, I'm not crazy about these movies.
What's wrong? What was wrong, Jay? Like, tell me why.
Well, first of all, as Whitey said, I'm not the demographic, Drapes. I'm definitely not that demographic.
Okay.
Second part of it is, I thought it took a long way to build up to get to what it needed to get to, right?
Okay.
And then I also thought the ending was anticlimactic.
Really?
Like, it didn't do nothing for me. I was like, what else we got? And that's kind of what I thought. But the storyline, it's one of those fellas, if it was probably a show, it probably would have been better. Because you needed to set the foundation up. And the foundation part for me was dope because it was the explanation of who was who and why and, those type of things. Trying not to spoil the movie. I am a big mob guy. Like, I love mob movies and, gangster movies and stuff like that. So I felt kind of that sauce that was, put into the movie. I'm trying to step away from, messing around with, but yeah. So I like that. I enjoyed Michael B. Jordan. I thought he did a great job, like most of his movies. I enjoyed some of the action. I thought it could have been way more action. But to me, it was like, we're going up the roller coaster and the drop just didn't pay off.
Dang.
And I was like,
really?
But this the other part for me, Drapes, too. And I this is why I say I'm not this demographic. I don't like movies where I need a damn rubric or a key or something to figure out, well, this means that, and this means that, and this is that, and that is this, and this, like the green clover over here means this. And, it's like, dude, I'm not trying to, this is entertainment. I don't need a Britannica to try to read a,
you don't want to
watch
work
a
too
movie.
hard.
Yeah.
Were there a lot of people in the theater?
It was packed jam.
Were they reacting? Because that's one of the best things, actually going to
Sometimes.
the theaters when it's full of people are going,
Right. I don't think there's really that many parts of the movie for that.
Okay.
Yeah. Like the storyline was was the driving force for me behind the movie.
Mm-hmm.
The actual action, I ain't see it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah. The storyline was there though. It definitely was
I'm gonna
there.
have to see for myself. No offense,
for sure.
Jay. No offense.
But I said I'm not the demographic for
Right.
it. I'm not into vampire movies. Like that doesn't really scare me. Typical, and this the other thing. I will spoil it in this form. Vampires are vampires, right? When it comes to the movies. This is the great all-bearing Ryan Coogler. Create some different way to kill these vampires. And that's my point is we going over the wooden stakes again? Like who ain't done that?
Yeah.
You know, for this to be 10 out of 10 and everybody's like, oh, this is great. Well, do something different.
Mm-hmm.
I was looking for something a little different.
Jay said that he went because his wife wanted to go. But she only liked it a little more than he did.
Really? She wasn't.
She wasn't.
I think you guys are the first. Jay, you're the first one I heard that said, yeah, it was okay. It was mid 6.5.
Yeah.
Most people are like, oh, greatest movie of the year.
Yeah,
like this
it
is
ain't like that, champ. I'm gonna keep it a buck though.
Damn.
Like
okay.
And I'm gonna keep it. Let's keep it super thorough.
Keep it thorough.
Super thorough. The fact of the matter is this: Ryan Coogler has a name, albeit shots out. He deserves it. He's worked hard. He's done his stuff. The other part of it too is the minority community. We're always starving for a movie that's ours, and that's the truth. Because we don't have the opportunities to release that many movies.
Okay.
And I ain't even trying to go down that street because I know what people are going to say.
Yeah.
And sometimes
I think history just bears that out. It's
but you know how it is because we're going to talk about Shador and race is going to be brought up and culture and our background and all these type of things. But I'm keeping it 1,000. Sometimes we're looking for our people and we're supposed to pump it up. We're supposed to be behind it. We're supposed to, support it. And that's what I did. I went, spent the money, did all of that type of stuff. But I'm still a viewer. I still have an opinion. Right. And so that's the part of it is sometimes I think we're like, yeah, I support, and I'm guilty of it. A rapper or a musician or artist or something can drop something. I'm like, yeah, that's really not his best work, but I'm gonna support him though, because I rock with him. And to me, that's what I believe this movie is getting a lot of is, it's one of ours. He's one of our guys. This movie, we gotta go. We gotta, there's no way we can't keep it real. We can't keep it thorough. That's just me.
I've always thought that constructive, honest criticism is a very strong form of support. Right. If something's not very good, you go, oh, it's great. Is that supporting? In a way, it's
okay.
not. Yeah.
Yes, man.
Yeah. You mentioned Shador, getting back to the draft here. Some players sign with teams after the draft is over. They haven't been drafted. Here's the biggest player. And I don't mean, oh, this is a big name, but this is the biggest player to sign with a team after the draft. He was very nearly the biggest player ever drafted, but he didn't get drafted. His name is Desmond Watson, a tackle from Florida. Have you guys heard of Desmond Watson?
No. Yeah, I saw him. 400s plus.
6'5", 464.
6'5"?
6'5", 464 pounds. And he went to Florida, signed with the Bucks on a deal that includes a $20,000 signing bonus, $50,000 guaranteed. Yeah. 6'4", 464. He also has dabbled at the running back position.
What's his name again?
Desmond Watson.
Desmond Watson. This guy up. I see him there.
Yeah.
Out of Florida. Okay.
He officially becomes the heaviest player in NFL history. Prior to him signing this contract with the Bucks, the heaviest player, according to MSN.com, Aaron Gibson, a guy named Aaron Gibson, was 410 pounds. Remember, William the Refrigerator Perry was only 3-something.
Right.
So this guy's 130 pounds heavier than Refrigerator Perry.
And he's a defensive lineman. That's what I thought he might be an O lineman, but he can actually he can
tackle.
move, huh? Yeah, he actually man.
They call him the Tush Push Terminator.
Oh, throw him out there. He take up a couple of guys too, right there.
But he does admit, he's probably, this big fella there, Drapes. There's a picture. It's not that flattering. He's probably going to have to lose a few pounds.
But the fact that he played at such a high level, Florida.
Yeah.
That's truly amazing. Shout out to him, man. Seriously.
So best of luck to Desmond Watson.
Vita Vea.
Yeah.
Him and Vita.
Yeah, Vita Vea is
about 1,000 pounds almost.
They have that here too,
Yeah.
Jay. He's listed at 347.
Damn.
So
Vita Vea.
Rounding up. Them some boys right there.
Wow.
Did you have anything you wanted to say? And maybe you didn't about Shedeur Sanders. Jay just brought up the Shedeur Sanders drama. Went on and on. You know, ESPN just latched on to that and would not let go.
I mean,
it spilled over into politics, popular culture. And now he's got his team, Cleveland Browns.
Well, I'm happy he got to go to Cleveland, even though their QB room is full, even though they have a quarterback that they drafted ahead of him.
Right.
Like, I just don't get it. There was something more than obviously just his football play. Every mock draft had him first round, second, but fifth round.
Mm-hmm.
It reeks of NFL owners trying to send a message. And the thing about it too, and I don't know if you guys talked about this on Friday, but the stories that are coming out now about why he wasn't selected from his draft interviews, he was FaceTiming friend. Like, these are some wild accusations. One thing I feel like we do know, his talent is better than where he should have been drafted. He should have been a first, second, at worst a third round pick. But to be picked after some guys I never even heard of, there was more at play here.
Well, as far as the interviews, you know, some of that we don't know what's true. I know Todd McShay said, Brian Daboll had an interview with him where there was an install package that arrived. He wasn't prepared. Daboll gave him a hard time, which is what Daboll does with quarterbacks, and Shedeur Sanders did not deal with that well. I mentioned that only because that's one that you got names and people are, are saying this actually happened, and Daboll has not pushed back on that. Some of the other stuff, who knows what actually happened, but it does sound like the interviews didn't go well. And, you know, NFL teams like, okay, here's a guy that's only been coached by his dad, and he does have some things he needs to work on. And we don't know if he really wants to work on them. And those things snowball. And, you know, in drafts, one guy doesn't get picked for whatever reason. The next team that has a shot is like, they get cold feet. So there were football reasons on top of whatever else there may have been, but we may never know the answer. I think it'll be interesting to see now with this quarterback room how he responds, because he's got a chance.
Yeah.
They got a lot of quarterbacks in there, but they don't have the guy. You know, we talk about John like being the guy of the Kings. They don't, you know, Joe Flacco's like, so he's got a shot with his team.
But didn't they draft a quarterback 2 rounds earlier or whatever it was?
Yeah.
So my question for Cleveland is, if he was good enough for the 5th round, how come you didn't take him 3rd round? Like, if it was other stuff outside of play, because if it was his play, you wouldn't have drafted him, right? Like 5th, 2nd, 1st, you wouldn't have drafted him. Why was he good enough to, like, I want to be involved in that. Like, tell me, what was the thinking? Oh, Shedeur is still there? All right, let's give him a shot. Like, how come you didn't take him with your first quarterback pick?
I don't know.
Like,
maybe because they just like, wait, you know what? We can't turn our back on this now. He's still there. We got to take him. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't like it. I don't like it at all. It seemed like they made an example. And he could have, like I said, bombed the interviews. But 5th round? Damn. All mocks had him 1st or 2nd round? It's just shocking to me.
When we come back, if this is the Kings' plan, can they make it work? How about our idea from earlier? Ja Morant, there are reports today he may be available. Is he a good fit for the Kings? Drive Guys back with that on Sacktown Sports.
I didn't ask to be thrown in the streets with nowhere to go. I didn't think I'd survive. But I did ask for help, and Covenant House was there for me.
1 in 10 young adults will experience a form of homelessness this year. For these kids who didn't ask to be put in this unthinkable situation, Covenant House is there.
Covenant House helped me break the cycle of homelessness in my family. They gave me the love that I needed.
Over 2,000 young people will sleep safely in a Covenant House bed tonight. When youth who are experiencing homelessness have a hot meal, a safe place to sleep, medical care, and love, they can overcome heartbreaking challenges and have a brighter future.
They just really genuinely just wanted to help me succeed, and I'm succeeding. I'm a speaker. I'm an author. Covenant House really helped me and really helped mold me into the woman I am today.
If you or someone you love is asking for help, go to safeplacetosleep.org today.
You heard the news. Newsmax just went public on the New York Stock Exchange and listed on the big board. Millions of Americans like you are joining our news revolution. Reuters Institute says Newsmax is one of the top 12 news brands in America. Even President Trump says it's terrific. 40 million Americans go to Newsmax, and its audience grew 50% since the same time last year. Millions really are making the switch to Newsmax. If you want to be a Newsmax share owner, call your advisor or get more info at newsmaxinvest.com. Stand with Newsmax today for a strong America. This communication is for informational purposes only and shall not be intended to or shall not constitute any offer to buy or sell securities, nor shall there be any sale of securities in any jurisdiction in which such offer, solicitation, or sale would be unlawful.
Spring into deals and save on seasonal projects at Lowe's. Right now, get 5 select 1-pint annuals for just $10. Plus, get a free 60-volt Toro battery when you purchase a select 60-volt Toro electric mower. Don't miss out on these fresh spring deals. Shop in-store or online today. Lowe's, we help, you save. Valid through 4/30 while supplies last. Actual plant size and selection varies by location. Excludes Hawaii.
Progressive knows if you have to choose between everyday life and your RV, RV wins.
What, are you going to take the RV to the lake or clean out your closet? RV wins! Putting the dishes away or taking the RV camping? RV wins! Cleaning the fridge or taking a trip to the beach? RV wins!
You might want to clean the fridge real quick because, mold.
We clean out the fridge, then take the RV out.
With Progressive, you can bundle your RV with your home or auto and save with a discount and spend more time enjoying those savings in your RV. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states and situations.
If you're 55 and up, T-Mobile has plans built just for you. 2 lines of unlimited for just $30 a line. That's a 45% savings compared to Verizon and AT&T. But don't just take our word for it.
It's not just the savings that are great with our T-Mobile plan. There's all this value from all these other things that T-Mobile offers. T-Mobile has been such a savings for us.
We love it. Switch today and get 2 free 5G phones like the Motorola Edge with Turbo Power charging that gives you power for the day in just 15 minutes. And customers 55 and up can get 2 lines of talk, text, and data for only $30 a line. Go to T-Mobile.com/55 to learn more. With 24 monthly bill credits and 2 new lines with autopay for well-qualified customers, plus taxes, fees, and $35 per line connection charge. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. Contact us, plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. 45% off 2 line versus AT&T Starter and Verizon Welcome. Plan benefits vary. See details at T-Mobile.com. Motorola Edge requires 68-watt charger. Charger sold separately. Actual performance will vary based on usage and configuration.
Your local sports leader in the 916.
KHD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, Sacktown Sports 1140.
Live and local, it's the Drive Guys. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sacktown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sacktown Sports app.
Kings need a point guard, right? According to Tim McMahon of ESPN, there's a big name point guard that may be on the block. Memphis Grizzlies point guard Ja Morant could be available on the trade market this summer, according to Tim McMahon. He said on Monday's episode of Ryan Windhorst and the Hoop Collective, quote, again, this is Tim McMahon, quote, "When I'm talking to people around the league, GMs, execs, scouts, I don't have people telling me that they think Ja is a top 10 player when he's healthy anymore." End quote. So is this a big name talent that the Kings need to explore as far as acquiring when it comes to a trade? Ja will make $39.4 next season, $42.1 in 26-27, $44.8 in 27-28. That's the final year of his contract. Kyle Draper is all in on the pursuit.
Rewind that one more time, what Tim McMahon said.
He said, when I'm talking to people around the league, GMs, execs, and scouts, I don't have people telling me that they think Ja's a top 10 player when he's healthy anymore.
Is that including and he will be available or he could be available? Or are we taking he could be available from that statement?
No. He could be available on the trade market according to Tim McMahon. That's
gotcha.
the
So he
report
did
here
say that.
from Bleacher.
Yeah. But he said that is what I'm getting to.
That's my understanding.
He said on the podcast.
Yes. That's a good question. Thank you for clarifying.
Okay,
but
Jay.
yeah. We're not inferring from that he's available. He's just saying, he's saying he could be available because his reputation has fallen. They got a lot of tough decisions to make. By the way, they also, the GM, Zach Kleiman, said today, or I guess it was yesterday, when speaking to the media about their season, he said, quote, I think we should have picked up Jake LaRavia's team option. The mistake was there. I think Jake could have helped us down the stretch. So that's another team. Even though they got into the playoffs, it's another team right now. They're trying to figure out what to do. There's teams that did better than the Kings that are also trying to
figure out
how to rearrange things and retool things.
Well, if I'm Scott Perry, I'm picking up that phone and calling Memphis.
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying, what does it take to get John Morant? Make me an offer. Or if you're Scott Perry, you throw out an offer. But, I'm on the ESPN trade machine.
Oh, here we go.
And I do this like 3 or 4 months. Once every 3 or 4 months.
I know that you're not a big
trade machine guy.
You tell us that every time you're on the trade machine.
Yeah, exactly. And it's been about 3 or 4 months. And I just threw some names in there. Not saying I would trade these guys. I'm just looking at the money.
Okay.
How about this one? John Morant, straight up for DeMar and Keegan Murray. Now, picks may have to be included. The money works. I was shocked. The trade is successful. 32.2 going out, 36.7 coming in, according to the ESPN NBA trade machine.
Yeah, I think I'd seriously consider that.
Okay.
I'm in no hurry to trade Keegan.
All right. Neither am I. I think Keegan has a lot more room to showcase what's interesting about this, and I urge people listening, just ignore the Hollinger's analysis. Have you seen that? You do the trade and then Hollinger's. He says this trade would improve the Grizzlies by 6 wins and decrease the Kings wins by 8. That don't make sense,
No,
right?
that's just the numbers. By the way, Alan says Javier Draper on the trade machine.
Dude, I don't normally do this, man. I normally don't do this. But, we were talking earlier about, John Morant and what would it take to give him up or anything. I'm not giving up Keegan. Like, to me, Keegan is our Stephon Castle, if you will.
You know what that is? I remember a couple of weeks ago when we had Emran in, and he said, if you want someone to get off of DeMar, you're going to have to include Keegan. And we said, no. And that's just what you described.
Yeah, that's what I'm worried about. Because when you look at what does that do for Memphis? What does Memphis want/need if we're trying to swing a deal with them? Domas doesn't fit, right? If you got Zach LaVine, Zach and Desmond Bane really don't fit, right? DeMar could fit out there.
Maybe.
But do they want that at that age? Kind of I don't know. And I think that's the issue for us as Sacramento Kings. We could throw Trae Young in the mix too. What do we have that Atlanta actually wants?
Right. Keegan is right there at near the top of the list. Keegan and draft picks.
Yeah. I think those are our most valuable assets. And so to get any of these big name guys, you may have to include Keegan.
Not saying that you would want to trade Domas in any of these deals, but what do you think his market would be? I ask you because we've had Sam Amick on the morning show, and of course Slate's come on with us, and they talk about how he's making a lot of money. It might be tough to move his production. We just talked to Jerry about this Friday.
Yeah.
In a different system, we don't know that Domas would be putting up the numbers that he's putting up,
right.
And that's why he's making so much money. So it's a little involved. What was your best guess at how much demand there'd be for him?
I don't think we could even get a unprotected first round pick. It would be probably protected, maybe 2 in a player, but I don't see teams giving away potential young all-star caliber talent, maybe some rotation guys.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and here's the question for Sacramento. If you're DeMar, if you're Domas, if you go to management and say you want out, that decreases your value as well on the open market. You know what I mean? If Domas says, you know what, I'm done. I'm out. I need to go somewhere. Well, teams know, hey, I'm not going to give up the whole farm for a guy that wants out. And so I just, and you know, we could play this exercise and go through the list of teams that could be interested in Domas. I don't think there's a lot of teams out there, to be honest.
I also look at this. I'm not sure how much of a factor this is, but I think it's a factor. If you go back to the trade deadline last year, teams were getting centers for like nothing.
Yeah.
Valanciunas was like 2 second rounders. Okay.
Right.
Who was the center? The Suns. Who'd they get? Nick Richards?
Yeah, Nick Richards.
For like hardly anything.
Yeah,
so
second round.
The value of centers, at least last half of the year, last deadline, was not what you'd think it would be.
And how about this, Whitey? Where is Domas' pecking order among centers right now? Because I'll throw this question out. If you're the Clippers, would you trade Zubac straight up for Domas?
Probably not.
Probably not.
And I'm not saying he's a better player,
right.
but if I'm the Clippers,
but the Clippers, no. Zubac fits better.
Yeah.
So you got to look at the teams around the league. Where would Domas actually fit in? Because it's not all 30 teams, not all 29 teams. You know, some teams would be like, nah, we're good. You know, we got our center. So then that shrinks the pool even more.
Yeah. So Domas is probably here next year, and Zach LaVine's probably here next year.
Yeah. To me, those are your two, you know, and throw Keegan in there too. Your 3 guys you probably going to have going forward.
Conversation continues, including your reaction. 339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. And we will take a glance at the NBA's 2-minute reports on yesterday's eventful finishes when we return to Sacktown Sports.
Visit SacktownSports.com and join the Sacktown Sports 1140 newsletter.
Spring has sprung, and now is the best time to spruce up your home. Between spring cleaning and evaluating your home, it is the perfect time to reach out to the folks at the Overhead Door Company of Sacramento. Jason Ross here, and I'm so glad we did. We reached out, and we're now about a month in to our brand new garage doors. Now, first off, we improved our curb appeal. They look great, and it's one of the first things people notice when they approach your home. A new, modern, stylish garage door can improve the overall appearance of your home, just like it did for us. Also, how about this for a nice benefit? The return of investment. A new garage door is high on the return of investment home improvement project list. It's one of the more cost-effective upgrades you can make to improve your home's value. Hey, see for yourself. Check out their products. Go to the showroom at 6756 Franklin Boulevard and ask about the Sacktown Sports Special. Overhead Door Company of Sacramento, the genuine, the original overhead door. Always look for the red ribbon logo.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-9861. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at tra.com or call 800-575-9861. That's 800-575-9861. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real.
On X posts that NBA rules Minnesota's Jaden McDaniels stepped into Luka's path when he tripped with 35 seconds left yesterday. Also, NBA rules all other calls, non-calls were correct in Pistons, Knicks, except for Josh Hart fouling Tim Hardaway jump shot at the buzzer. So that's your look at those 2-minute reports. Jaden McDaniels fouled Luka, tripped him with 35 seconds left.
Wow.
And as we already knew, because the official said right after the game, Tim Hardaway was fouled by Josh Hart. But otherwise, the NBA says, yep, everything was good. Spot on.
The NBA, it's a bad look for them. Those are 2 plays. And then the Pistons one, that's a potential game winner.
Mm-hmm.
Send him to the line, he potentially wins the game. And then the Luka situation, tripping, maybe he goes to the line for 2. That makes it, I think, a 2-possession game, I do believe, at that point. And so, I mean, there's nothing you could do about it. It's not like, they're going to replay the last minute or anything like that. And we know all too well here in Sacramento, sometimes the whistle doesn't go your way, but
wow, very diplomatic.
Right. You like that, right? You like that. It just sucks in a playoff game, man. It's like, the one thing, if you're a player, a coach, a franchise, an organization, is you don't want to lose because of something out of your control. This poor officiating is out of your control. You could play a play perfectly. You can execute the play, draw it up, everything's perfect, but because the officials made an error, that could cost you the game.
Mm-hmm.
That's hard to swallow. And I'm surprised J.B. Bickerstaff did not go off more than what he did afterwards. Remember, he had that epic rant earlier this season.
Maybe that's why.
Right, man. Yeah, it's just a bad look, man. And and it happens I don't think it happens in hockey. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I don't pay enough, but we've seen it happen in football a lot. And it's part of the game, but it's a crappy part of the game.
What did you guys think of the Aaron Gordon play? The reason I ask is because I'm a little unclear. And apparently the league ruled, after looking at it very closely, the ball was out of his hands just before the light went on to signify the end of the game. But this is what I'm wondering, and I haven't been able to find a definitive word on this. If it's a legal goal, if the ball is so far in the basket that it's already a basket, it doesn't matter if it's in his hand or not, I think.
But for it to be a basket, and Katie and I had this discussion on air, it has to clear the net. You see what I'm saying?
Yes. Are you sure?
I believe so. Because we had an issue. Remember, I think it was Malik or somebody had a dunk, and it went down, but came out, and they didn't count it because it didn't clear the net. It has to fully clear the net, I believe.
Okay.
And maybe we got some referees at home listening or something like that can clarify. But I believe it has to clear the net for it to count as a goal, because we had that situation earlier this season.
339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. We're also talking about John Morant.
Yes.
To McMahon reporting today that the Grizzlies may trade him. The Grizzlies may trade him. Is that a player at least, the Kings should pursue? What do you think? Let's talk to Will on Sacktown Sports.
Will.
What's up, Will? How are you?
Hey, man, I love y'all, man, but y'all making my head hurt, man.
What's the matter?
Drapes, you a smart dude, man. Why? Look. See, me and Jay coming from the man, look, they ain't even in the semifinals yet. Y'all wait on this trade stuff, but this is what I want to say. Ja is a shoot first point guard. Y'all want to shoot for first point guard? Is that what you want? And then you talking about Keegan. Look, I love Keegan, but Keegan he can't create his own shot. If he's wide open for a three or whatever, cool. Every now and then he get a chance to go to the bucket and dunk, but he can't create like Debo. Everybody talking about get rid of Debo. I know you guys are looking at the money and you're looking at the age, but Bron 40, and then we have to realize too. Everybody talking about Ant-Man scored 43 and blah 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 blah. They beat the Lakers by 3. Look, your boy. What's his name? Nas Reed. I mean, we gotta have wings that can shoot and that are athletic. A point guard don't have to be the best point guard in the league for you to win.
But
we lost a lot of games. We lost a lot of games by 1 or 2 points. About 10 games by 1 and 2 points. You want to say something? Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just gonna say the pro Ja view is, you're right. He's a shoot first point guard, wouldn't necessarily be a good fit on this roster. But you need more talent. Right now, you have some good players, but you don't have anybody who's a great player. And I don't mean to speak for Drapes, but that's the other side of it. Is that, okay, you're right, not a perfect fit on this roster, but you need better players. You need an outstanding elite player on your roster.
I'm on the same page. I'm on the same page with y'all. But look, it's the wings, man. Look at Randall, Nas Reed, McDaniels. I mean, you got a complete team, athletic guys who can ball. Okay, we got two guys who are really athletic who can ball. That's Levine and Debo. That's it. And Monk. But the other guys, man, look, we can get all the point guards we want. Domas gonna still get dunked on all night. I mean, and my boy Murray, every now and then. I mean, but he can't create. See, you know why they get a ball to Debo and say, y'all get out of the way? Because he can create a shot. He can create a shot. That's what we need, man. And the Lakers only lost by 3. Everybody talking about, and then you had your boy Luka, man, was throwing up crazy stuff. He can't play D. He looked like he gained more weight during the season than he did during the offseason. Look, Drapes, feel me. Now talk to me, man. You know what I'm talking about. We need athletic wings who can create. If we had Davion back here, if we had Davion can be sufficient. I mean, how many teams got an outstanding point guard? You got your boy, and the Clippers are still balling. He's still balling more than a lot of guys. He about 35, 36 too.
James Harden?
I mean,
James Harden.
Yeah.
James Harden. I mean, it ain't the point guards that are killing the league. It ain't the point. It's the wings. It's guys, it's 6'8", 6'9" guys who can create the shot. They can play defense and they can jump. We don't have post players who can jump. It ain't the point guard, man. It ain't the point guard.
Thank you, Will.
Appreciate
it. Yeah.
All right, fellas.
Yeah.
All right.
Do we have Will's earlier comments on Keegan? He's a nice guy. I'm sure he got.
I love him. He's a nice guy. He's a handsome little cool guy, man. I mean, I bet he make the honor roll all the time and all that kind of stuff.
I bet he make the honor roll all the time.
That was Will on Keegan.
Oh, Will,
months ago.
That's hilarious. I don't even know where to start with what Will was saying.
The tricky part, I think a lot of what he said is spot on. The tricky part is when it comes to whether you want to get a point guard or not. He says, well, it doesn't have to be a great point guard. But if you're going to get one somehow, some way, you're going to have to trade for one.
Right.
Unless you develop somebody you already have.
Yeah.
Because as you've pointed out, or you have to get somebody who's like, they just don't have a lot of money to spend on the free agent market unless they part ways with a big contract, which is hard to do without taking salary back.
Yeah, and I'm going to look up, and I think I did this last week, potential free agent point guards in the NBA because – and this is why I came up with Dennis Schroeder because he was one of the bigger names that was a free agent. Everybody else, I felt like, they don't, it's not it. All right, I'm on SPO track right now, Whitey, and I'm going to go position by position, free agent point guard. All right. Hold up here. Give me a sec.
By the way, somebody here says Drapes is right. And he says, that'll get me a response. Dunk by Malik off his head, back up and out of the basket, no basket. I remember that play. I thought they just missed it.
No, it's because if it don't clear the net, no goal. I'm 98% sure that's the rule.
I do remember that play. I know what you're talking about.
All right, here you go. Free agent. Malcolm Brogdon.
Nah, too old and doesn't really help me much.
D'Angelo Russell.
Nah, he's terrible defensively. He has Angelo Russell.
I know how you feel about Dennis Schroeder. We're not going to go down that, but this is why.
I like him, but he's shoot first guy.
Chris Paul.
Just no. Just too old.
Trey Jones.
Maybe. Yeah, I'm open to it.
But he's all right. He's okay. I don't think he moves the needle that much.
Right. He's a point guard. You need a point guard. You have one, but that's about the extent.
Restricted free agent. And I think Miami will match Davion Mitchell.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, who's unrestricted? Ty Jerome.
Ty Jerome.
He's going to make a lot of money.
Yeah, he's going to make some cash. Here you go. Kyle Lowry.
No, he's just been around too. I'm sure DeMar would love that, right? They're still very close.
They're still best friends, yeah. Spencer Dinwiddie.
I don't think to me, he's not
Patty Mills.
Anything close to true point guard. Is he still playing?
I'm just going down the
Bless
list.
you, St. Mary's Gale.
Dante Exum.
Yeah, maybe.
Okay. DeLon Wright.
Nope.
How about Cameron Payne?
I mean, he's the type of guy you very well may end up with. You could do worse.
They got Monte
Nice
Morris
left-handed
listed here.
slingshot,
Yeah.
right? Campaign.
See, that's what I'm saying. I mean, there's no Ben Simmons. There you go. Like, there's nobody there. Bones Highland.
Yeah, I liked him a lot.
Right.
He's a rookie, but he kind of fell out of fortune.
It's
out of coach's favor in Denver.
A lot of teams. Corey Joseph has a club option. Hey, he's starting for Orlando in the playoffs right now.
Huh?
I'm just throwing it out there, Whitey. I'm just trying to see what you think about these guys.
That's a guy. Then we're talking about, hey, we have a point guard that kind of stabilizes things, but they need so much more than that.
They
Don't
do.
we agree on that?
Yeah.
Some of those guys you mentioned, like, that's fine. Nothing against them, but I need more help than some of those names you mentioned can give me.
We up against it. I got a name, Whitey. I got a name that might solve it all for the Sacramento Kings.
All right.
I'll
I'm
give you
hoping
that
we
name.
can play. Who does that song? Like the pine trees. Oh, Jim Croce. I got a name.
Okay.
I hope we can have that when we come back, but that's up to Jay. It's Drive Guys on Sacktown Sports.
Everyone has a past, but what happens if you've made mistakes and made good on that past, but it keeps following you? Are you looking for an attorney to erase past records and restore your rights? Maybe even restore your gun rights? Do you need a reputable criminal defense attorney who knows even good people make bad mistakes? Well, the attorneys at Gonzalez Law Office are here to help. Find Gonzalez Law Office online at saclegaldefense.com or call them at 916-304-9187. We don't settle for less, and neither should you.
Sacramento River Cats baseball is here, and the Cats Pass is your all-access pass to the full 2025 season. Enjoy access to every single home game at Sutter Health Park at unbeatable value. Cats Pass holders receive access to the Sky River Casino Solon Club on select dates, along with upgrades and guest options. Join us for unbeatable value with the Sacramento River Cats all season long. Get your Cats Pass today at rivercats.com.
Power Business Technology is proud to be a 100% independent, locally owned and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a Toshiba ProMasters Elite dealer since 2021. Contact us today for all your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729, or visit us at powercopiers.com.
Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Here's Frank LaRosa.
You've probably heard the word, but do you know what a stimp meter is and how it works? Invented by Edward Stimpson in the 1930s, a stimp meter is a device used to measure the speed of putting surfaces. His version was made of wood and was simply a chute on which a golf ball would roll onto the green. Roderick Easdale writes in Golf Magazine, today's stimp meters are made of aluminum. They're 36 inches long and have a V-shaped chute down which the ball can roll. It has two notches on which the ball rests. After a flat area of the green is selected, a golf ball is placed in the notch and the end is slowly lifted until the ball rolls down the chute and across the green. The average of three distances becomes one of the measurements. The process is repeated in the opposite direction, and the measure of both directions is added and divided by 2. That figure in feet is the stimp meter reading. Most courses average 9 or 10 on stimp meter, which is neither too fast or too slow, just right for most recreational players. That's your Golf to Go. I'm Frank LaRosa.
If you've always wanted to be a part of that Jeep life, there's no better time than now than the 2025 Jeep Wrangler. And no one has a better selection than Sacramento Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. The Jeep Wrangler has been unmatched in off-road capability for over 80 years. But being a Jeep owner, it's so much more than the performance on and off the road. It's a lifestyle. It's camaraderie. It's the versatility and the customization. The new Jeep Wrangler, it's better than ever. And you won't be able to find a better car buying experience experience or selection than at Sacramento Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram.
The IMSA WeatherTech Sports Car Championship is back for another thrilling season at Monterey's iconic WeatherTech Raceway, Laguna Seca, May 9th through the 11th. Only in Monterey can you experience a high-octane mix of international drivers, cutting-edge prototypes, and GT sports cars racing wheel to wheel. There'll be gourmet food, wine, craft beers, family entertainment, and exclusive fan engagement with the drivers in the open race paddock. Buy your tickets now and experience world-class motorsports. Visit WeatherTechRaceway.com.
Only one radio program captures the excitement of hunting and fishing as it happens. The award-winning California Sportsman with Sepp Hendrickson. Only California Sportsman takes you where the action is. Live on the water, live in the blind, and live with the top pros and experts in outdoor sports. California Sportsman with Fishing Hall of Famer Sepp Hendrickson is your premier destination for all things outdoors. Sepp's Saturday Morning Outdoors. Ultimate Bass and California Sportsman, 5 a.m. to 8 a.m. Saturdays on Sacktown Sports 1140.
Bad job by them.
What the hell is that?
Nah, you're ridiculous. Right. Yeah. Chubby Checker's been putting it down before the dawn of time.
Invented it.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Bad job by them.
Very bad.
I feel like every year it's like that too. It's like I thought he was already in. Like it shouldn't.
There's definitely that.
Every year it feels like it's that.
Yeah, and I get that with this act or that act, but when you're talking about like the seminal guys that like created the genre, and Chubby Checker has to wait this long. The inductees for 2025, by the way, Chubby Checker, Bad Company, Outkast, and White Stripes, Joe Cocker, Cyndi Lauper, Soundgarden, Salt and Pepper, and Warren Zevon. Be that as it may, Dre.
That's some big names right there.
Yeah, it's not a bad class. And I know you have to wait, 25 years or whatever until you're eligible, but Chubby's been around a while.
Been here for he's lapped a few 25 years.
Yes.
What, he got in on the Veterans Committee or something like that? Like, seriously.
So.
Jeez.
I think he's 83 now, and he's been saying, I hope you guys put me in while I'm still around. So hopefully he can enjoy that. But you said you had a name for it.
I have a name, and I'm not saying sign me up for this.
Well, what are you saying?
I'm saying this. Give it a thought. I'm saying give it a thought.
All right.
Because we have gone through the gambit. Like everybody I mentioned, it's going to be hard to do, Sacramento. We don't have a whole lot of cap space unless we go by way of trade. It's not like we could sign a big name free agent or anything. But there might be a guy, might be a name, if you will.
You need Jim Croce under you when you do this?
Maybe. Where do we give this guy a full-time shot at it? He's a former lottery pick, number 1 overall pick, Markelle Fultz.
I was afraid you were going.
Why are you afraid? I'm just saying, do you give him an extended look? Not just so we can't base it off last 20 games of the season, Whitey.
My fear is if you do that and you say, let's see what we got, and then through camp or however long it takes, if you come to the conclusion that, nah, then it's too late to do anything about it.
So hold up. Markelle Fultz, my guy, mind you. I'm a big Markelle Fultz.
Sure you
fan.
want to do this? Because he couldn't get on the floor, and you know that.
I'm saying, what do you mean? Do what? I'm just having a discussion.
Are you sure you want to go here?
He was good enough in 2022-23 to start 60 games for the Orlando Magic.
How many games they win that year?
I'm
just asking, just so I know.
They were injured. They had 34 games. But then how about last year?
I just checked my phone. It's 2025. So I just want to make sure.
How about 2023-24 season? Started 18 games, Jay. Team won Hold up here. How many games did they win last season? Orlando won 47 games. I'm just throwing it out there, King. I'm not saying, yes, definitely do this, but could that be an option? I just want to have the discussion, Whitey. I'm not saying if I'm Scott Perry, that's all. Hey, we got Markelle. We're good.
How much did Orlando sign him for when they obviously brought him back after that?
He had the injury
it would be
situation.
Ridiculous not to bring him back.
They had a glutton of guards. They had too many guards. They had to get rid of somebody. He was the odd man out, had the injury. Not at all.
They had a glut of guards.
Yeah, not gluttony. Did I say gluttony?
You said a glutton of guards.
Yeah. Could he be somebody we take a look at?
I don't think so.
We're looking at him now.
Kind of tried.
So basically, we saying we ain't got no options. Like it's who's out there?
Do you?
I just listed 10 guys, and we were all too old.
Some of those guys we said, yeah, they'd be okay, but you probably want to take a bigger swing. But I just seriously want to ask you, the tomfoolery. But do you really think Markelle Fultz is someone that they should even consider a potential option?
Not as starter. I bring him back though as a reserve, as a backup. Yeah, I would bring him back as a backup. I'm still on a Dennis Schroeder bandwagon to be as a stopgap guy, unless you can go out there and swing for the fences and get a John Morant or a Trae Young or somebody like that. But somebody to get us through the next year or two, I would do Dennis Schroeder.
339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. Max is hanging on. Hello, Max. How are you?
Hey, guys. What's going on? We've got a point guard on the roster that I'm pretty sure was a lottery pick last year that nobody talks about. His name's Devin Carter. Would love to see him get some action in the starting lineup. He's a good defender. You don't really need his offense with the other guys in the starting lineup. And then you just get some point guard depth on the bench. Wanted to hear you guys' thoughts about that. And then the other thing real quick, did anyone see Nikola Jokic take 4 steps before he launched that air ball that Aaron Gordon put back in?
Oh, I didn't notice that.
It's on the gather.
There was not a gather. That was 4 steps.
Everything is a gather. Max, I know you're right, but in the NBA, everything is a gather. No, I'll have to take a look at that again. I didn't notice that. Did you think the basket should have counted?
I did. I think it did get off his fingertips before the red light went on. They had some pause photos that looked like it, but
gotcha.
Getting back to my point, I'm a big Devin Carter guy. We drafted him for a reason. He plays great defense. You don't need his offense. It's kind of icing on the cake. And I think he can facilitate the offense. He closed some games last year.
Yep. Thank you, Max. I have been thinking a lot about that myself. I don't think he's there yet, but he could be. I think he's still a guy that teams take advantage of because he's a rookie. But I think he can be probably more of a combo guard than maybe a full-time point guard. But I have not closed the door on that completely myself.
Or Devin Carter?
I just don't think he's there yet.
We need somebody to stabilize the team. And to your point, I don't know if Devin Carter's that yet.
Yeah.
Maybe he will be. But I think what we'll see from Devin is, depending on if Keon is starting or not, like a very impactful 6-man off the bench, 20 minutes a night, 22 minutes a night. I expect that from him. I don't, somebody's saying Mason Jones as point guard. I'm just throwing out names. Why didn't see how you react? That's it.
Mason Jones is a guy that
champion.
He needs the ball in his hands a lot because he likes to shoot it. That's what he does. If you have him on the team, you have him on your team to take a lot of shots. Because that's the type of point guard. And you're saying, well, what about Ja? You're right. Ja, you'd have to rearrange everything. I don't know. There's a reason why Mason Jones hasn't played more.
Right. Mason Jones.
It's too bad Keon's not a better point guard, but he's just not.
Right.
He's just not.
And Mason Jones has a lot of freedom with the Stockton Kings.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. He's a shoot first point guard. He's the team's leading scorer. He's the guy putting it up. It's not like he's, and so I don't know if that would fit like Mason and what he's doing out there, obviously. But
in all fairness, like I said, if that's the argument and I'm with you, then it becomes, well, wait a minute. Isn't Ja that type of player? And then it's just but Ja's better.
Ja's an all-star, MVP
but
caliber
you would have
talent.
to reshuffle some things if you're going to fit Ja under this roster.
Yeah, and I think you got to reshuffle some things, like you said, even with the trade. You're giving up 2 players, 2 key rotation players. And so your makeup of your team is going to look different when you bring in a guy like John Morant. What?
Somebody disagreed with your Markelle Fultz take.
Oh, shoot. Yeah. Let me see.
He's played so badly, Draper should have his
come on.
Revoked for suggesting.
That's ridiculous. First of all, 916, I didn't say sign me up. I was just bringing up a name, topic.
You did qualify it.
Right? Yes.
Wisely.
Exactly.
Very wisely.
Whitey, that's what you do. You drive the show. Sometimes you throw out topics and I discuss.
Yeah.
This time I threw out a name and let you and Jay pontificate on it.
That's right. That's all that was.
You gotta explain yourself, Drake.
No, I'm just saying.
Well,
can I say it? He sucks so badly that Draper should have his NBA credentials revoked for suggesting he is an answer at point guard. What would you do without me, 916? In all seriousness, though, Scott Perry even said it. We need a point guard. Tyus Jones, Trey Jones, honestly, I'd rather have Chris Paul than than Tyus Jones or Trey Jones. And we're talking a year or two stopgap. That's it. We need some leadership in the locker room, on the court, and Chris Paul is that. I'm not saying he's the answer, but I'd rather have him than some of the other guys being thrown out.
916 here. Forgot to mention we also had DiVincenzo. He performs everywhere he goes. Ha, ha, ha. And he didn't play well here, and he was hurt.
Yeah.
He was recovering from injury.
And then he was in Golden State, too,
He
right?
was, and I had some people around here tell me, he wasn't very good there. And, I'm on the radio with the Warriors. He wasn't very good last year, and he was great with the Warriors.
Yeah,
He's been
he
really
was
good ever since.
And then did they trade him or he signed
Free
elsewhere?
agent.
Oh, free agent.
Yeah, they couldn't afford him.
Right. Okay. Yeah, he would be nice. We need somebody with a pulse, a heartbeat, Whitey. Somebody that, gets tangled up. Like DiVincenzo, when you watch him, you see a competitor.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And so I feel like we need something like that.
How much?
Yeah, I was going to say, that's why just any old point guard won't do. They don't move the needle enough.
I got a Kings cap question for you when we come back. Also, Magic Johnson is now throwing pretty much everybody under the bus next year on Sacktown Sports.
The Sacktown Sports 1140 newsletter right to your email. Get your latest on the Sacramento Kings, Athletics, and Republic FC with the Sacktown Sports 1140 newsletter. Visit sacktownsports.com to join.
It's Carmichael Dave talking to you about my good friends at American Energy. You're in the Sacramento area. You know how the seasons work. They are a-changing right now. So American Energy wants to help you stay warm for the rest of the cold season, but help you stay cool during the warm season. Best way to do that, make sure your system is operating safely. So right now is the time to take advantage of half off a tune-up, $24.50. They cut that right in half, and if you want a diagnostic, guess what? You can't beat free. If it's free, it's me, and now it can be you. And also, it's the end of the season blowout. $4,000 off a new system plus any rebates. That $4,000, that's a direct drop from the sticker price. It's a great deal. Check them out at the aeway.com or an instant quote, or give them a call at 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990. Tell them your good buddy Carmichael Dave sent you.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Saving for retirement was tough enough for us.
Yes, and navigating markets can be challenging at times.
I understand. That's why at Fisher Investments, we take a disciplined approach with your investments.
Tell us more about that.
We take an active approach to money management, positioning your portfolio for opportunities we see ahead.
So all your clients get the same portfolio?
No, we tailor your portfolio to your individual goals and needs.
What about communication? We don't like being left in the dark.
We check in regularly to keep you informed on the markets and your portfolio.
Which means you'll help us stay on track.
Yes, our goal is your comfortable retirement. And as a fiduciary, we always put your interests first, because we do better when you do better. At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
It's the final days of the spring sales event. Drive home your new Honda before the deals and the new Hondas disappear. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Looking to own or lease? During the spring sales event, drive a brand new Accord or Civic. Visit us today at folsomlakehonda.com, your one-stop Honda shop.
As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our number one priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
Whitey here with another great grilling tip. The Napoleon Stainless Steel Prestige 500 Connected Propane Grill with infrared side and rear burner featuring Wi-Fi and Bluetooth connectivity brings you closer to your grilling experience than ever before. The Napoleon Connected lets you monitor temperatures, set timers, and receive high temp warnings. Boop, boop. All from your smartphone with temperature probes and LCD display. You'll always know exactly what's happening inside your grill. Napoleon's LED control knobs even illuminate for nighttime entertaining and feature safety glow. Napoleon Grills, simply the best.
Sacramento's premier country music festival, Country in the Park, is coming back May 16th and 17th at Cal Expo with Bailey Zimmerman, Billy Currington, Cole Wetzel, Nate Smith, and more. You'll enjoy food trucks, rock walls, and a mechanical bull, line dancing, and more. Single day GA tickets start at $52 at CITPfest.com. Country in the Park, May 16th and 17th with Sky River Casino, Hop Valley Brewing, and Naturewood Home Furnishings. Find out more at CITPfest.com.
The only station in Sacramento giving you local sports coverage from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday. Sacktown Sports.
We're trying to figure out what the Kings do at point guard. Is it Ja Morant, who, according to Tim McMahon, could be made available this offseason by the Grizzlies? Max called a little bit ago, 339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. And he said, what about Devin Carter? And I really want that to be the answer, Drapes. I just can't. I'm not there yet, but I'm really working on it.
If he is the answer, that means he's making some, massive leaps, some strides. I do believe there's a place for Devin Carter in the rotation, 100% on that, but I don't know about a starting point guard.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't either. But, boy, that'd take care of a lot of problems if he could do that.
Yeah. I'm going to look up another name here, and I know he got some issues.
I got a name.
Yeah, I'm all about names right now. I'm trying to figure out what's his situation. And he comes with some baggage, but he is my guy. This guy is
Marcus Smart.
Terry Rozier. Not as the end-all, be-all, Whitey. Not as the end-all, be-all. I'm not saying for the next 10 years, but as a stopgap. Let me look at his
Issue first guard, right?
Yeah.
But he can run a team.
Is he a point guard or is he a combo?
Nah, he's a point.
He's a point?
He's a point. Nah, I'm calling him a point, Jay. I'm calling him a point. 30 years old right now. So, look,
Dang, he's not as old as I thought.
Yeah. Had to trade for him, and I'm not giving up $26 million unless Miami was interested in DeMar before Rozier's set to make 26. I don't know.
How, I know I said I had a question before we went to break. If the Kings wanted to pursue somebody in free agency, I tried to figure this out today, and I couldn't quite come to the answer. How much money would they have to spend based on what we know of their current situation?
Ooh, sorry about that.
And I'll just tell you before.
What you got?
Give the answer. The reason I ask, I was looking up some stuff on Ty Jerome today, and I've been a fan of his for a while, and he's had a great year.
Yeah.
I saw that he has suggested he might want to stay in Cleveland. He's an unrestricted free agent. But the Cavs could only offer, according to what I read, about $14 million, and that might not be enough for him.
Yeah.
So then I started wondering and checking, well, what could the Kings spend? Do we know what they could spend on somebody if they wanted?
So I think 12.8. Well,
you're talking about the full MLE?
Yeah.
Is that the non-taxpayer MLE?
Right. Exactly.
Okay.
And that's how they absorbed Valanciunas. I think
MLE mid-level exception.
Yeah.
Which means, there's a limit, but you get an exception. You can go beyond.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, I'm on this website. They have mid-level exception tracker. They track which teams have used their mid-level. And
they used one of them on JV.
Yeah, it was
not the big one, the 15, 17 or whatever.
They 9.4, I think, on JV. But I do believe you get it next season as well. Non-taxpayer mid-level this last year was 12.8. Taxpayer mid-level 5.1. We don't have to worry about that.
Right.
So, yeah, I think maybe that we would have
12.8.
Yeah.
All right.
But like you said, somebody's going to.
Yeah.
And could Cleveland re-sign Ty Jerome?
I believe he's unrestricted. I mean, they might, but
because they can go into tax for him, though, right? You know what I mean? Like if they wanted.
From what I read, the highest they could go for him would be
14.
14.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
They have. So I'm looking from Bobby Marks, and I remember I had sent it to you guys. They have a 14.1 non-tax ML, a biannual, which I think is
that's the Kings.
This is the Kings.
So that's for the upcoming season when the cap goes up. So 14. So that's
14.1.
Okay.
Then they have the biannual 5.1.
Yeah.
They have a trade value exception and this is the big one, and I can't remember who it was. It was 16.8 is where they can trade.
Right.
They have another one for 6.3, 5.9, and 4.7. Now you would have to trace them. And then of course they have vet minimum.
So they do have the trade exception.
Yes. And I can't remember that 16 point. Is that Kevin? Is that Herter?
Kevin Herter? I think so.
That's Herter,
yeah,
right?
I think that's Herter.
Yeah.
So you could absorb a 16.1 guy.
So maybe a little more flexibility than we thought.
But then you got to talk tax then.
Yeah.
Right.
Now you're going above the cap.
And they're at 170 million right now.
Historically, they are not interested in
right.
Which is their tax threshold next year is 187. So technically you're playing
187. That's
187. First apron is 195. Second apron is 207. And that includes bonus.
Some money going on.
Okay. Yeah. Meanwhile, Magic Johnson throwing everybody under the bus. We know that the Lakers lost yesterday. Magic Johnson after the game on X. I don't know if it's smart to play LeBron and Luka the entire second half after only having 1 day of rest between games 3 and 4. When we needed LeBron to take over in the fourth quarter, he couldn't. He scored 0 points in the fourth.
Wow. Dude,
Magic.
He's 100% right. And we got to get into this, Whitey. Because, and Jay, you got to chime in. We were singing the praises of J.J. Redick to start the season.
I know.
How does he go an entire half without making a substitution? It just doesn't make sense. And I'm listening to Big Perk and them on the show this morning. You're up by 10 points. Give LeBron a minute or two break. Not to make a substitution. That's a rookie head coach mistake. And I could argue J.J. Redick may have cost that team the game yesterday.
Yeah, that's a very desperate strategy. Like, I don't trust the other guys. Yeah, so he may have actually been complicit in their demise.
Yes. And I get it. You want to do everything you can to win that game. It's a pivotal game. You got to – but Lebron's 40 years old.
Right.
Whitey's – they just played 2 days ago. They're playing tomorrow.
Uh-huh.
And you're playing your – he played, what, 46 minutes, I think it was, or 47? 46. LeBron played 46 minutes at 40 years old. This is how crazy it is, Jay. I turned to my kids the other day and said, guess what, guys? LeBron's 10 years younger than me. Jay, I don't know how old you are right now.
41.
But 41. Can you imagine playing 46 minutes in an NBA game right now? Like,
no way.
They're asking way too. And then I'm watching the game and I'm like, and I know he gassed, but the ball got to be in LeBron's hands to end that game. Luka did not look good down the stretch either. And so they just botched that one big time.
Did he freeze up?
Who, Luka?
No.
Or JJ?
JJ.
Maybe.
Did he freeze up? Did the sphincter clench a little bit?
Maybe. He said he turned to, told the guys, hey, if you need a breather, let me know. But, players usually, especially in that kind of environment, they're not going to be like, hey, I'm coming out. No, they're not going to do that.
It marked the first time any coach has done that. No substitutions in the second half in a playoff game since the NBA started keeping track in the 1997 season.
That's unbelievable. And here's the thing. because you did that, you may have cost yourself next game too.
Mm-hmm. In the final quarter, the Lakers were 5 of 18.
Ugh.
Got out rebounded 13-9.
Dude, that's pretty bad.
Mm-hmm.
That's bad.
I mean, he survives it, right?
Oh, yeah.
Let's just say they lose the series next game. He survives it just based on they're paying some money to Darvin Ham still, things like that. But when do we start to question some of the things that he's doing? Because remember, he's had some questionable situations this year.
Coach Reddick?
Yeah.
Well, there's going to be a learning curve. Unfortunately, there just has to be. But the Lakers, according to NBA.com, they've been outscored in every fourth quarter of this series so far, 105-69.
Whew. Let me ask you this.
Once did they crack 30% shooting.
Let me ask you this.
Tired.
Yeah.
If this is Darvin Ham, what's happening today?
Oh, he's getting skewered. He's getting flambasted.
Yeah.
Like he's getting
yeah.
And JJ Redick should be. That's preposterous. Like, and Big Perk was making this point, and I'm not saying Gabe Vincent is great, but damn, give him a shot.
Right.
A minute or two.
That's just how you coach an NBA playoff game.
And how about this
Even
way?
with rotations that get shorter, it can't be that short. You still have to have a rotation.
And Minnesota's a big team, wouldn't you say that?
Oh, yeah.
Gobert, Naz Reid, Randall. You didn't play a center the entire – Jackson Hayes played 4 minutes. I'm not advocating for Jackson Hayes. He's not that great. But 4 minutes?
Mm-hmm. I mean, they did almost win.
Right.
But they probably should have won. And part of the problem, and I think part of the reason that J.J. Redick is desperate, is Minnesota has it going on. Minnesota has found their stride.
Yeah.
And they're playing with swagger and purpose.
Did you hear what Anthony Edwards said afterwards, though? He said they know the Lakers will wear out down the stretch.
Mm-hmm.
They know in the fourth quarter, they turn it up, the Lakers can't. And that's what happened last night again.
Mm-hmm.
I'm watching Ant Edwards to start that game. He's coasting. He's on cruise control. Then when it's money time, bam. And LeBron and Luka, they couldn't deliver. They were gassed.
When we come back, the elephant in the room when it comes to the Kings' plan going forward, how might Ja fit into that on Sacktown Sports?
I didn't ask to be thrown in the streets with nowhere to go. I didn't think I'd survive. But I did ask for help, and Covenant House was there for me.
1 in 10 young adults will experience a form of homelessness this year. For these kids who didn't ask to be put in this unthinkable situation, Covenant House is there.
Covenant House helped me break the cycle of homelessness in my family. They gave me the love that I needed.
Over 2,000 young people will sleep safely in a Covenant House bed tonight. When youth who are experiencing homelessness have a hot meal, a safe place to sleep, medical care, and love, they can overcome heartbreaking challenges and have a brighter future.
They just really genuinely just wanted to help me succeed, and I'm succeeding. I'm a speaker, I'm an author. Covenant House really helped me and really helped mold me into the woman I am today.
If you or someone you love is asking for help, go to safeplacetosleep.org today.
This is the story of the one who, as a maintenance specialist for a historic high-rise, knows that vintage charm historically needs constant attention. Which is why when it's time to upgrade turn-of-the-century mechanicals, they turn to Grainger. With easy access to 1 million+ products and the scale to deliver when and where you need them, the right tools and supplies are never far away. So the one can keep that vintage building running like new. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Whoa, it's you, the Capital One Bank guy.
That's what they call me.
Mind if I get a selfie?
Yeah, sure thing. Say no fees or minimums on your Capital One checking account.
Wow, that's a keeper. So, where are you heading?
I'm off to spread the good news that Capital One helps people keep more money in their wallet with no overdraft fees.
Oh, you're the best Capital One Bank guy.
Hey, mind if I get a selfie?
Sure.
Say, Capital One, what's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com/bank for details. Capital One NA, member FDIC.
Spring into deals and save on seasonal projects at Lowe's. Right now, get 5 select 1-pint annuals for just $10. Plus, get a free 60-volt Toro battery when you purchase a select 60-volt Toro electric mower. Don't miss out on these fresh spring deals. Shop in-store or online today. Lowe's, we help, you save. Valid through 4/30 while supplies last. Actual plant size and selection varies by location. Excludes Hawaii.
The IMSA WeatherTech Sports Car Championship is back for another thrilling season at Monterey's iconic WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca, May 9th through the 11th. Only in Monterey can you experience a high-octane mix of international drivers, cutting-edge prototypes, and GT sports cars racing wheel to wheel. There'll be gourmet food, wine, craft beers, family entertainment, and exclusive fan engagement with the drivers in the open race paddock. Buy your tickets now and experience world-class motorsports. Visit WeatherTechRaceway.com.
Oh, wow, honey, I love it. It's so beautiful and so sparkly.
Just like you, Mom. Happy Mother's Day.
I'll wear it every day. It goes with everything.
This Mother's Day, wow Mom with spirit-lifting, outfit-making, express your love jewelry. Shop jtv.com/mom for wow-worthy and budget-friendly styles.
I'm never taking it off.
Another wow factor? Sign up for JTV Text and get $30 off. If she loves jewelry, she'll love JTV.
Febreze. As a rideshare driver, I love keeping my car smelling fresh and clean. So when I'm driving, I only trust Febreze car vent clips, featuring 3 distinct intensity settings, because it's that little touch that sets me apart. I can turn the intensity down for subtle freshness, or I can turn it up for when I want lots of scent. So whether it's set to low, medium, or high, with Febreze car, I know my car's going to smell amazing. Which keeps my driver rating right where it belongs. Picking up, Oscar!
Power Business Technology is proud to be a 100% independent, locally owned and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a Toshiba ProMasters Elite dealer since 2021. Contact us today for all your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729, or visit us at PowerCopiers.com.
KHD 1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento.
Your home for Kings basketball for over 25 seasons.
Hammer time thrown down by the league.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
Sacktown Sports, 1140. Live and local, it's the Drive Guys. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sacktown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sacktown Sports app.
Miami's got to be one of the great fishing spots in the world, right? Looks like the Heat will be fishing soon. 1:46 left first quarter. The Cavs, they're up 3-0 in this series against Miami. Cavs lead Miami 35-10. 35-10.
Look at this. I mean, no, Whitey, amend that. 38-10. Dude, and this is in Miami. Wow.
Wow.
Our boy Davion. Here he is on the pin.
Oh,
blew by your boy Ty Jerome.
Yeah.
I will say this about Miami real quick. Their fans get hated on a lot. Fairweather fans, all that. But when LeBron, D-Wade, and Bosh were there, it was probably the best scene I've ever seen in the NBA.
Yeah.
Like, just the vibe when you land in Miami.
The Heatles.
It was literally like a who's who. You had to be near those guys.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, my gosh. That's probably my greatest stretch of sports commentary and broadcasting, covering those Celtics Heat series back in the day. Woo.
I want to show something to you here, and it's basketball related. I know I'm jumping around a little bit before we get back to the Kings. I just saw here another team, baseball team, City Connect uniforms, and I'm having a hard time believing this is real.
White Sox.
Yeah.
Same city. Yeah. Is that the White Sox? Yeah, White Sox, right?
Yeah, you saw them?
The Chicago Bulls version?
Yeah. The White Sox City Connect uniforms it looks like a Chicago Bulls jersey. I think it has the same script that says Chicago. The jersey is red with black pinstripes and then black sleeves.
Oh, I think it is real.
Yeah. Because it's MLB at MLB with the gold check.
Yeah, and I'm looking at the White Sox official Twitter account.
Uh-huh.
They posted it and tweeted it out, and they say bred in Chicago.
Yeah. And MLB says White Sox have revealed their Bulls-inspired City Connect uniforms. So that's the whole purpose of it.
I will say this.
Wow.
I'm not mad at it. I'm not. It doesn't vibe with the White Sox. Like there's no.
Right.
But check this out, Whitey. Did you see this right here? That's actually not that bad.
Oh, it's not
That's
bad.
That's not that bad.
It's just for a baseball team to
To
go,
go
we're gonna
that, like-
honor a basketball team. I understand it. You're the White Sox. You got nothing going on.
Right.
And I mean, yeah, I guess Michael Jordan played for you, kind of a little bit.
That's true. That's true. That's true.
Birmingham
Barons. Yeah.
I've
And-
seen worse City Connect. It just surprised me.
Bears aren't doing anything. You ain't going to honor the Bears uniforms.
Jay's the baseball guy. Thumbs up or thumbs down?
You saw it, Jay?
Yeah, I'm with it. It's all good.
All right.
Okay.
Like the red is flashy.
All right.
They should all of them should wear like Jordans, black and red Jordans, white and red Jordans, or something of that nature.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, and we have
Breaking news.
When it breaks,
We have it first.
it's Sacktown Sports breaking news.
According to Shams, Shaquille O'Neal has agreed to become the men's basketball general manager at Sacramento State. Sources tell ESPN. It'll be a voluntary role for Shaq, whose son, Shaquille O'Neal, also plays for Sac State under Mike Bibby. Shaquille O'Neal is the GM at Sac State.
This is big. I feel like I was talking to Mike about this a week or two ago. And if we can get a guy like Shaq.
What does that mean if he's the voluntary general manager?
He ain't getting paid.
So what's he doing? Just kind of.
He's doing what Woj is doing. He's out there going to get the deals, the sponsorship, the advertisement. He's controlling what you pay the players and all that. But I think he's taking the deal in the form of those guys are getting paid. Right. One of the issues that Sac State has continuously had, or the naysayers, the people that continue to keep talking about Sac State is they don't have the budget. They don't have the money. They don't have the means. They don't have the funds to do some of the things that Dr. Woods is doing. And for whatever reason, I keep on saying, man, this dude is pulling rabbits out the hat.
Mm-hmm. I'm just wondering why Shaq would do that. I mean, is he more or less just kind of lending his name to the efforts, which is significant?
Mike Bibby is guy, right?
Yeah.
Those two got a relationship. His son going there.
And I think it's the Michael Strahan effect, at Jackson State, or excuse me, the Dion effect. I'm calling Under Armour. I'm calling Strahan to get all my guys 5-10 suits for the season.
Mm-hmm.
To me, that's why you go get Shaq. He picks up the phone. Hey, listen, General, I need you to bring the money.
I know why you get Shaq. I'm
yeah.
just not clear on why Shaq would say, "Yeah, I'll do it for nothing." I don't know how much.
Because he making money 18 ways.
Mm-hmm.
Man, Shaq, I'll tell you, it seems like everything he touches turns to gold lately here. I mean, he's involved in so much. Car washes, health clubs, Vegas nightclubs. At one point in time, own 155 Five Guys franchises.
Crazy.
That's crazy. They say his net worth is $500 million right now.
Do you think as a basketball player, he tends to get a little overshadowed and underrated?
Oh, 100%.
I do too.
Nobody talks about Shaq as an all-time great.
Right.
Top 10, top 5.
And he was clearly better than Kobe for a while. When
Right. It was his team.
Yeah.
Kobe was the sidekick, the Robin to Shaq's Batman. I'm with you. Is he a top 10 player of all time, Shaq? That's the thing. I think he's probably hardest to rank out among.
Mm-hmm.
Is he ahead of Tim Duncan?
For me, he is.
Yeah.
I think
he changed the game.
Yeah.
He made zone, defense. He literally changed how you guarded people.
Yeah.
On top of, he changed the league, man.
Yeah. Tim Duncan was great at one very elite level for a long time. Shaq did not stay at his peak very long, but at his peak, I mean, there's very few.
Right.
He is impactful as Shaq at his very peak.
Yeah. And the thing about Shaq, he ended the career of Patrick Ewing. The big man changed. The only big man that really got him, Olajuwon. And that was a young Shaq. Once Shaq got to L.A., nobody was dealing with him. Nobody was dealing with him.
Yeah.
You talk to some of the Kings, and Whitey, I know you had the opportunity, but you talk to guys that's been in that league and some of the Kings that played against them, hands down to the person. They be like, Kobe, we don't care about Kobe.
Yeah.
They always we were worried about Shaq.
Right.
Absolutely. And that's not to degrade or downgrade what Kobe did because he was a ball, but
people just don't remember it that way.
Yeah.
Unless you played against them or you went to those games or watched those games. Because just in terms of their reputation, people occasionally throw in Kobe's like, he could be the greatest player ever. No one ever talks about Shaq that way. But Shaq, for a period, was better than Kobe.
Listen to these accomplishments, accolades. 15-time All-Star, 4-time champ. He was a 2-time scoring champ, Whitey. I don't think people understand that. 14-time All-NBA, 3-time All-Defense, 3-time Finals MVP. He should have won more regular season MVPs, probably. He really should. And Kobe only has one, too, which is crazy.
Yeah. Chris the Mom in the text line says, more than money, Shaq wants to say and what's happening around his son. That's the way to get it, says Chris the Mom. We also have in the text line some thoughts on what's going on with the Kings, but we'll get back around to that. We're just digesting the news that just broke that Shaquille O'Neal is going to be the general manager at Sac State. I'm still just getting used to the idea that college programs have general managers in the first place.
Right. It's hard to like wrap your head around, it's like a business now. Like you're running. And did you see Andre Stojakovic too?
Yeah.
He's going to Illinois now
through the portal.
The portal. Like it's crazy out there. It's the wild, wild west.
That's why you go get Shaq,
right?
Yeah. We were talking to Matt Barrows about the draft last week, and teams are even more, NFL teams, and I'm sure it applies to other sports, they're even more focused on making sure that players really love the game when they draft somebody or sign somebody, because now, guys, a lot of them come in, they've already made so much money. Some of them have already made so much money that they don't need necessarily to go through the things you need to go through to actually become a good player at the pro level.
You think Shedeur is making less on his 5th-round contract than he was at NIL at Colorado?
Oh, yeah, it's already proven.
It's already proven, right?
Yeah, he'll make 4.9 on his rookie deal. He was getting paid $6 million last year. It's already proven.
Damn.
Like,
plus he's got endorsements.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So like NFL is like a part-time job compared to everything, It's a
It's
second
hard.
job.
It's a hard job.
Right. It's hard second job, man.
Yeah, we'll get back to today's other breaking news. Well, breaking news, interesting news about John Morant when we come back. Drive Guys, Sacktown Sports.
The Sacktown Sports 1140 newsletter. Right to your email. Get your latest on the Sacramento Kings, UC Davis, and Sac State with the Sacktown Sports 1140 newsletter. Visit sacktownsports.com to join.
I can't believe how spotless my floors look after using the Swiffer Power Mop. No more dragging around a heavy mop and messy bucket. Now I get the same deep clean without all the work. Thanks to the powerful solution and scrubbing pad of the Swiffer Power Mop, dirt and grime don't stand a chance, and I don't break a sweat. Mic drop. Mop drop.
Swiffer Power Mop. Swiffer Power Mop.
A smarter way to mop. Try it or your money back.
William is one of millions of Americans who uses GoodRx to save on the cost of their prescriptions.
My oldest daughter, Camilla, 2 days old, she had to have open heart surgery. All of a sudden, she's on 5 different medications. It adds up at the end of the month. Me and the pharmacist got so tight. She said, GoodRx save you a lot of money. Saving that extra $200-300 a month. We're able to do all these extra activities, so it puts less stress on our household, and it puts less stress on our pockets.
Download the free app or visit GoodRx.com and start saving today. GoodRx user compensated for their time. GoodRx is not insurance, but can be used instead of insurance.
With 25 award-winning years in Northern California, Ashton & Price is your local injury law firm. Pro attorney tip: if a firm presents as local, but they're in LA, red flag. If your first consultation is not with a lawyer, big red flag. At Ashton & Price, your first consult is with a local attorney, and if serious injury prevents travel, a lawyer will come to you. Still not enough? George Washington's my uncle. At Ashton & Price, no red flags, just red, white, and blue.
Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton & Price.
Drapes, we were talking about the atmosphere in Miami. I wanted to ask you if you know, she's right over there. There is a woman that sits near the other team's bench, the visiting bench, and like free throw line extended, and she's always there at Miami games, and she always wears like a shiny, shimmering gown. Have you? Like
I haven't
every
seen
game.
it. No, I gotta. Yeah, I'm gonna keep an eye out.
Watching one game is like, who is that? You know, when the ball's being inbounded near there, and she's there every game, and she's got like these glittering, glitzy gowns on. So she obviously is doing it for attention. I was just wondering if anybody knew who she was or what the story is. You could see her there. There
I see that
right
white one there.
She's always there. She's always wearing something like that.
In the white gown right there, or no?
It's either her or the one, two next. I'm not sure which it is because there's actually
okay. It's hard. Yeah, it's a few of them. Right
every game in Miami.
I never even noticed that.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So looks like Miami season is
over. Is over.
There's been a lot of teams that have had disappointing seasons. A lot of them.
Yeah. I mean. And playoff teams too, like Miami going out like this, it's a disappointment. Memphis, going out like they did, that's a disappointment.
Whoever loses that Denver Clippers series is going to be, we're out in the first round. Whoever loses the Warrior Rocket series is going to be, we're out in the first round.
Right. Yeah. With that Denver series, did the Clippers lose the series there, or like I know it's 2-2 now, and they're coming back home if I'm correct. No.
They're going back to
Denver now. Yeah. So Denver got the home court advantage back. Clippers might have fumbled that one on that play.
But they've played them really well, too.
Yeah, I guess. You know me. I can't, watch Jokic win anything. I can't stand it.
Someday we'll find out why.
I don't know why. I don't even know why. You know why? I do know why. He flops too much.
Oh, okay.
Next time they play, I think tomorrow they play, watch Jokic. He grabs, he holds, and then when he tries to take his arm out, he's the one flailing back. It's a little too much gamesmanship. Just play basketball, dude. Stop trying to, get the call from the refs, manipulate the officiating and everything. Just play basketball.
I wanted to talk about the Kings plan. I know that we got confirmation from Mark Stein, although we already knew about it around here. The Kings plan is that they are not going to tear things down. We pretty much knew that. Now it's, nationally official. But I also wanted to ask you about what the commissioner said about NBA basketball. And he was on the TNT. And this is something that I think we've talked about on the show.
Yeah,
he says, the announcers, they don't talk enough about the things that people love about basketball. Jay's got it for us. This is Commissioner Adam Silver touching on something that I think you've talked about a lot, Drapes.
Is there anything about how the NBA is covered that you would change?
It's interesting. Your companies enjoy basketball. And I mean, I respect the job the media does. And it's not a suggestion that people shouldn't ask tough questions or be critical or talk about things they don't like about the game. But I would say, and it goes exactly to your production company, Enjoy Basketball, that sometimes I think they don't spend enough time talking about why people love this game. And, recently I was at a meeting with Mike Krzyzewski, former coach at Duke, and he condensed it with this headline. He said we should educate people about the game and celebrate the game. Educate and celebrate. And I feel, I wish there was more of that.
Is there anything about how?
Okay, that's fine. That'd be nice. But I want to point out that there was a promo that I know we were running on this station for the NBA app. And I have the NBA app. It's great. That's not the issue. But in the promo, they say, you can get this, you can get that.
Right.
Daily updates on news and all the drama of the NBA.
Ooh.
So that they promote that. That's part of how the league promotes the NBA is the drama, which is all the the off-court stuff and the sniping and all. They actually promote that. So it's not just the media doing that. The league itself promotes that.
Yeah, and that's the catch-22 if you're a league. You want the players, and all their greatness to be the focus. But in today's society, what garners ratings is the drama. Like the NBA is as popular as it is, Whitey, because of the trade deadline and NBA trade machine, stuff like that. Like here we are in Sacramento spending 4 hours talking about Ja Morant. We ain't talking about, what an out of bounds play that Miami just ran or anything like that. It's it's the celebrity culture that we live in. That's why TMZ is so great. Like, we like, that kind of tabloid journalism, if you will. I'm not going to be watching 2 hours of a show break it down how they attack the 2-3 defense and stuff like that. There's a reason why Stephen A. Smith is now making $20 million per year. It's because people watch him. And so I wonder, Whitey, and I go back and forth with this all the time. Is it ESPN and those talking heads that's to blame, or is it the consumer that's to blame? Because if we turned it off and said no, then ESPN and them would change.
But doesn't ESPN and don't the other outlets also talk about the NFL in the same manner, but we don't care? Don't they talk about Aaron Rodgers this and Aaron Rodgers that, and this guy did this and this owner's doing that, and Shedeur Sanders and all the other drama? I think we talk about the other leagues that way as well, but for the NFL, the product is so popular that it doesn't matter. But for the NBA, because they struggle a little bit, they're looking for what's wrong, and so, well, maybe this is wrong. But it's also something the NFL does, and it's not a problem for them, so I don't think that's the problem.
Is there a problem, though? If you're Adam said, is there really a problem with the way the league is being covered?
I think the problem for the league is that they don't do better than they're doing. Not that they're doing terribly, but they want ratings going up and up and up. They want, they want the TV revenue to continue to pour in, which it does because they have the new contract.
Yeah, new contract.
They're just trying to avoid some low ratings because they have so many games that don't matter.
What's interesting about that?
They're not the NFL is the problem, Drapes, and
right, and nobody is.
But that's the problem,
right? And nobody will ever be the NFL. But if I'm Adam Silver, I don't know if I think it's a problem because your TV contracts are skyrocketing.
Yeah,
player salary, you're making money. You're making more money than that. It'd be different if you start. Somebody showed up. Now we don't want to be a part of this. Amazon, Netflix, all these companies are paying big money to be a part. So I don't know if it really is a problem. And if you take that away, will its popularity go down? I'll say this, and maybe I'm wrong. You guys can push back on this if you want. The NBA has more stars than any league. More recognizable stars. Steph Curry moves the needle. LeBron moves the needle. And part of that reason isn't just because of how they play basketball. It's how they're talked about, LeBron especially. It isn't all about X's and O's. These guys have become household names because of the tabloid journalism, not because of just, oh, man, look at this way he shot the three-pointer or anything like that. So LeBron, Steph, the NBA, Adam Silver, they've made so much money because of the way the league is covered.
I think for the NFL, though, it's the teams that matter. You watch people at the draft last week, and they, fans of name whatever team, Patriots. If the Patriots draft so-and-so, those people have no idea who it is, but Patriots!
Right.
Yeah!
Right.
That's one of the reasons. There's many reasons. One of the reasons the NFL is more popular. Whereas in the NBA, it's like, the team's almost secondary. It's like, that's my guy. I love that guy. I wonder what team he's going to be on this year.
Yeah.
In the NFL, it's like, oh, Raiders, 49ers. I forget your team, but, Steelers.
Champions, Super Bowl champs. But I'll say this, and you're right, Whitey. And that's why I'm more of a player guy. Obviously, I want the Sacramento Kings to win. Philadelphia 76ers hometown and everything like that. But I used to have this argument in Boston all the time. LeBron James, most hated player in Boston. They hate him. But if he wore a Celtics uniform, people would love him. Same player. So to your point, the league is all about the individual. Whereas NFL, I could say hockey as well. What about MLB? Team, or is it
baseball's a regional sport?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Probably more team. I don't know. That'd be my guess. But you were talking about, does the league have a problem? And it's a great point because they're making so much money.
Yeah.
I just recently saw something. I was watching some documentary about the 80s. maybe it was the 30 for 30 on the Lakers and the Celtics.
Yeah.
And David Stern was on talking about the early 80s and how the league struggled, when games were tape delayed during the finals. And he told the story. Maybe you've seen this. He said we had the U.S. Army and they were going to sponsor us. We were very excited. It was a big sponsorship. And they instead decided to sponsor the Major Indoor Soccer League. And he said, we lost a huge account.
Really?
Yes.
Back
That's
then?
where the NBA was. They were losing accounts to Major Indoor Soccer.
That's wow. That's I mean, and Jay, should I open this Pandora's box?
Pandora's box. About to be
How much of it is cultural and race related? For instance.
Oh, with basketball?
Yeah, with basketball.
Absolutely.
I go back to the days of Allen Iverson, dress code and all that. And how much of that has to do with the thought that these athletes don't play hard during the regular season? It's one of 82. Regular season doesn't matter. Like, where are those narratives coming from? Is it the players? Is it the culture? Like, because I'm watching these games and I'm watching regular season games. Guys are going at it. Like, it's beautiful basketball.
When I first started watching basketball, there were certain teams, and you can figure out who they are or remember who they were, and I'm not going to say the cities, but there were certain franchises. I can think off the top of my head of 3. They always had like at least 3 white starters because in their markets, it's like they had to have that. So at least and it was terrible, but that's the way it was. At least we've made progress in that front. Obviously,
right.
The way things are now, we're not where we need to be, but at least as far as the popularity of the league and the larger issues, at least there's been progress made in our lifetimes.
Yeah.
It's not enough, but it's progress.
Like, I'm of the belief that I don't think the NBA has that much of a problem. I get it, Adam Silver, but with the ratings, the TV contracts, player salaries, valuation of franchises.
Right.
What was Celtics sold for? $6 billion, something like that?
So why are they so sensitive to talk of what's wrong with the league?
I don't know.
Why
That's a
why
great
does
question.
Silver always have to snap back? Well, that's because of this or that. Why don't they just go, you know what, we're doing great?
How about this, Whitey and Jay? I got something for you here. Sorry to not answer your question, but I just wanted to do an exercise. Social media, Twitter, just happen to be on it right now. The NFL on Twitter, 37.7 million followers. The NBA, Twitter, 48.2 million followers. I'm not saying the NBA is more popular, but that's telling, right? Like, their social media presence is massive. Probably the number one social media league out in America, right there.
Yes, they've done a great job of that. Then we also have this, and thank you, Jay. I know you saw this.
Oh, yeah, Jay.
Because Jay sent it to us a couple days ago. I'm just scrolling here. It'll take me a moment to find it. This is from JPA Football on X. NFL is king. 13.6 million average viewers for round 1 of the 2025 NFL draft. 13.6 million. 12.2 million peak average viewers for the 2024 NBA Finals.
That's crazy.
I will say this, though. The
People
finals
watching the draft?
They were crappy. The finals suck. Let's call it what it is. The finals suck.
Finals compared
Lakers,
to the draft.
Mavs. Yeah. I mean, there's no it's the NFL. The NFL can do no wrong. Like, I could argue, guys, we've had more NFL players involved in incidents.
Oh, yeah.
Than NBA by far, but it doesn't bother. Like, nothing happens to the NFL. NFL can do anything. We had a guy almost die on the field, Whitey and Jay. And people are still tuning in.
Yeah. When we come back, one last look for today at Ja, the potential of Ja coming to the Kings next, Sacktown Sports.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Fidium Fiber.
From the KCRA3 Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Heather Waldman. A few marine layer clouds early Tuesday morning. Valley temperatures near 50 degrees. It'll be a warmer afternoon with highs in the mid-80s. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA News and the KCRA app.
It's about time they
fix that pothole.
Invented better windshield wipers.
made an internet that just works. Fidium Fiber Internet, starting at only $30 a month. It feels like Fidium. Offer available to residential customers only. Terms and conditions apply. See Fidium.com for details.
It's Carmichael Dave talking to you about my good friends at American Energy. You're in the Sacramento area. You know how the seasons work. They are a-changing right now. So American Energy wants to help you stay warm for the rest of the cold season, but help you stay cool during the warm season. Best way to do that, make sure your system is operating safely. So right now is the time to take advantage of half off a tune-up, $24.50. They cut that right in half, and if you want a diagnostic, guess what? You can't beat free. If it's free, it's me, and now it can be you. And also, it's the end of the season blowout. $4,000 off a new system plus any rebates. That $4,000, that's a direct drop from the sticker price. It's a great deal. Check them out at theaeway.com or an instant quote, or give them a call at 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990. Tell them your good buddy Carmichael Dave sent you.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
With Progressive, it's easy to reach customer service with our app, website, chat, or by phone. Because when getting help is hard, it's not help at all.
Little help. A little help over here.
Thank you for calling Bench Press Assistance.
What?
Due to excessive gym volume, all available spotters are currently lifting heavy weights off the chests of other bench pressers.
Seriously?
Please continue to hold, and we will remove the barbell from your chest in the order in which your cry for help was received.
Getting assistance should be easy. With Progressive, it is. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
This is Secret Clinical dominating extra stinky stress sweat. And this is regular deodorant. Secret Clinical in a heat wave. Oh, what a beautiful day. This is regular deodorant. Ugh, I can't. Secret Clinical with workout sweat. Let's run another marathon. And regular deodorant. How much more? Secret is the GOAT because nothing fights sweat better. Stay fresher under pressure.
Spring has sprung, and now is the best time to spruce up your home. Between spring cleaning and evaluating your home, it is the perfect time to reach out to the folks at the Overhead Door Company of Sacramento. Jason Ross here, and I'm so glad we did. We reached out, and we're now about a month in to our brand new garage doors. Now, first off, we improved our curb appeal. They look great, and it's one of the first things people notice when they approach your home. A new, modern, stylish garage door can improve the overall appearance of your home, just like it did for us. Also, how about this for a nice benefit? The return of investment. A new garage door is high on the return of investment home improvement project list. It's one of the more cost-effective upgrades you can make to improve your home's value. Hey, see for yourself. Check out their products. Go to the showroom at 6756 Franklin Boulevard and ask about the Sacktown Sports Special. Overhead Door Company of Sacramento, the genuine, the original overhead door. Always look for the red ribbon logo.
Your afternoon home for Kings Talk and so much more. The Drive Guys on Sacktown Sports.
Miami Heat getting cooled off big time by the Cavs. 2:39 left first half. Cleveland up 66-25.
What's that score?
66-25.
Unbelievable.
Hang on. 68-25.
Yo, I'm sorry to laugh, but this is bad. Look at that stat right there, Whitey.
Yep. Cavs.
Go ahead. 11 made three-pointers by Cleveland. 10 field goals made total by Miami. Look at Mobley in transition. Oh, dude, this is – how are you losing 68-25 at home? And it's 2:08 to go in the second. And it's a closeout game.
Possible they may have checked out early on this one.
And if you live in Miami –
where's that Heat culture?
Yeah. Oh, is that the lady you're talking with the raincoat pants on?
See her?
Yeah, I don't know. She's salty right now, though. She's not looking happy.
Yeah. Every game is like going to some kind of weird prom for
Interesting.
her. Every game.
I may have to text my guys, see if he can tell me. Jason Jackson, he on the call right now.
That's right.
He needs something to do.
Right.
Good afternoon, party people. Yeah. By the way,
is bad.
Looks like Jimmy Butler's a go tonight.
I ain't worried about it.
Jimmy Butler, game 4. Jimmy Buckets. Playoff Jimmy. Rockets in trouble, Drapes. Rockets in trouble.
They are in trouble. They are in trouble. And then it would be Golden State against Minnesota. It's looking like.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, man. I was with you, man. When Jimmy Butler was out for game 3, I'm like, oh, they're done. They're toast. I'm going to watch it tonight, but
we don't know how mobile he'll be.
Right. Yeah, because he was hurt badly, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Deep glute bruise.
So. Hero just missed a 3.
Mm-hmm.
Whitey, it is 70-25 right now. You're down 45 at home in a playoff game. I'm sorry. All right, there you go.
70-28.
Yeah.
The comeback has begun.
Yep. Jovic. Not Jokic. Jovic with the quarter 3 ball.
The longest journey begins with a single step, Drapes.
Yes.
If they can cut this to 40 by halftime.
Cut this to 40, right? Don't try and get it all back in one shot, you know?
Yeah.
Bucket by bucket.
Just getting back to one of our main points of topics today, points of conversation. John Morant could be made available on the trade market this summer, according to Tim McMahon of ESPN. He was on the Hoop Collective, and he said, when I'm talking to people around the league, GMs, exec scouts, I don't have people telling me that they think Ja's a top 10 player when he's healthy anymore. He said Ja could be made available. So, I mean, there's a lot of ifs there. Could he could be. Tim McMahon thinks that they may make him available. Would he want to come here at all?
Yeah.
We don't know. Would the Kings have the pieces they would need to get Memphis involved in talks if it got to that point? We don't know. But in general, despite the many risks, we're in favor. Are we not, Drapes? Are we not,
What?
Jay? We're in favor of, if you're the Kings, definitely looking into this. If Ja's on the market, definitely looking into potentially acquiring him here, bringing him to our fair city.
Yeah, you definitely got to pick up that phone call if you're Scott Perry. Because what I feel like the Kings need, and it has to happen eventually, might not be this year, next year, almost a roster reset. Like, you know, when I worked in Boston, Theo Epstein was the GM of the Red Sox, president of baseball ops, and he called it a bridge year. I think we might need a bridge year where if you swing for the fences, even with John Morant now, you're not a championship, but now you're starting to build towards that. We might need a roster reset, if you will, Whitey.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because the players we have right now, we got talent, good enough to compete, good enough to make the playoffs, but we're talking about championship. It's going to take a few years to do that. And so I just think we probably, if, you know, because we're not going to get the top draft pick. We're not going to get the top free agent signings. We don't have the money to do that. How do you acquire star level talent? It's got to be by way of trade.
And not just star level talent. They have some stars, but we're talking about the guy.
Yeah.
You look at the teams still playing, the teams that have a chance to advance anyway. Each of them has a guy. It's like, whoa, no question.
Right.
Even some of the teams like Milwaukee that may not be around long, you know who their guy is. They have that guy. If you want to actually accomplish anything in the playoffs, not just get there, but accomplish anything, you have to have a guy. We thought De'Aaron Fox was here, right? But whether he was or not, he's not here anymore.
Right.
And nobody on this roster, I don't know about your opinion, nobody on this roster, in my opinion, I don't know about your opinion, Jay, I don't think they have some good players. They don't have that guy.
Yeah.
So if it's like Zion, is he a possibility? Oh, a tremendous amount of risk involved. Yep. John Morant, possibility. Oh, there's a lot of risk involved. Yep. But you have to look into it. I'm not saying trade your roster, half your roster for either one of these guys, but you have to explore it.
I'm with you, and I'm looking at some of John Morant's numbers. I mean, this dude is a 22.6 per game scorer for his career. This past season, 23 points. Season before that, 25, 26.2, 27.4. At one point, they were talking about Ja as a possible next face of the NBA, him and Zion. And so if you have a chance, obviously it's all about what the price is if Memphis dangles him out there, because I'd imagine there'd be some competition for Ja Morant's services. Like if I'm Phoenix, I might be offering up Kevin Durant and Bradley Beal and 2 first-rounders for Ja. So like I'm doing something. Brooklyn can make some moves. But if you're Sacramento, smaller market, free agents aren't going to come here. Contracts, you're hamstrung by your contracts. If somebody offers you a star player like that, you got to try and get that guy.
339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. Manny's been hanging on.
Manny.
Hey, Manny, thanks for hanging. You're on the Drive, guys. What's going on?
Hey.
Manny? Is this Manny from, where are you from, Manny? Don't tell me. You're from Ghana? Manny?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes. Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yes, Manny. How are you? It's been a long time.
I know. I'm still in town. I'm living. I listen to you guys all the time.
Manny,
so it's time for me to.
Go ahead.
This is my take on NBA. But what the commissioner said. I think the problem for NBA is the former NBA players are the biggest problem for the league that they once belonged to. When they get a chance to cover the game and promote the game, somehow I don't know, that's my opinion. I think they're jealous of current players about the money they're making and the skill set, and the other chance they got, they just talk down about the players and the style of the game they're playing. I can understand that they were physical, but things have changed. Football have changed. Soccer, I remember back in the days, the goalie can dive and break a striker leg. The striker can tackle the goalie.
Yeah.
All those things have changed. But NBA cannot, the fans and the former players cannot get over that. And anytime they get a chance, they just ridicule the league. Football doesn't do that. Baseball doesn't do that. Only the NBA players does that. And it's the biggest disservice for the league. And I think the commissioner should be bold enough to talk about that. It's the current play that the former players are the biggest problem when they cover the league.
Thank you, Manny.
That's my take.
I appreciate that. It's good to hear from you. Call again, and thank you for listening.
No.
That's Manny. That's his catchphrase.
Oh, that's his name?
Yeah. Manny used to call a station a lot.
Oh,
Way back
really?
when. It's
Okay.
great to hear from you,
Okay.
Manny.
All right.
Thank you. No. Manny. I think Manny's from Ghana, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
And if I am mistaken, Manny, I'm sorry. He's talking, right, about Charles Barkley and Shaq, isn't he?
Yeah.
Aren't those are two guys that mostly talk about, you couldn't do this in my day.
Yeah, a lot of haters, regarding older players against the younger players, today's generation of stars. And how many times have we heard, the discourse, oh, well, back in the day, Jordan would have never done that. Like, you don't hear that in any other sport. You don't hear people say, oh, man, back in the day, Tom Brady would have never did that, Patrick Mahomes. Why is that happening in the NBA so much?
It's a good point.
Right? I just don't get it.
Whitey's Wayback Machine quiz
I'm ready now.
is coming up. Jay against Drapes next on Sacktown Sports.
You've heard the saying, penny wise, pound foolish, right? It means you do something that will save you a little bit right now, just pennies, but that ends up costing you pounds in the end.
People put off tuning up their furnace because they don't want to take the time or spend the money to get it done.
But it only takes 90 minutes and costs just $87, which is just pennies compared to the huge problems and expenses that can rack up if you don't get your furnace tuned up.
You'll also save money on your energy bills, and your system will last longer.
So don't be penny wise and pound foolish. Call Bell Brothers for a precision tune-up and professional cleaning today.
Our number is 916-444-1234, or find us online at thenosurpriseguys.com.
The No Surprise Guys, Bell Brothers.
Whitey here with another great grilling tip. The Napoleon Stainless Steel Prestige 500 Connected Propane Grill with infrared side and rear burner featuring Wi-Fi and Bluetooth connectivity brings you closer to your grilling experience than ever before. The Napoleon Connected lets you monitor temperatures, set timers, and receive high temp warnings. Boop, boop. All from your smartphone with temperature probes and LCD display. You'll always know exactly what's happening inside your grill. Napoleon's LED control knobs even illuminate for nighttime entertaining and feature safety glow. Napoleon Grills, simply the best.
The IMSA WeatherTech Sports Car Championship is back for another thrilling season at Monterey's iconic WeatherTech Raceway, Laguna Seca, May 9th through the 11th. Only in Monterey can you experience a high-octane mix of international drivers, cutting-edge prototypes, and GT sports cars racing wheel to wheel. There'll be gourmet food, wine, craft beers, family entertainment, and exclusive fan engagement with the drivers in the open race paddock. Buy your tickets now and experience world-class motorsports. Visit WeatherTechRaceway.com.
Station in Sacramento giving you local sports coverage from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday. Sacktown Sports.
We've been talking so much Kings today and little NFL draft. I just want to give a salute and shout out to the Athletics with a walk-off win yesterday.
How about that?
Yeah.
And the Giants. Did you see the Giants went to?
That was just, come on.
I thought of Jay. First I thought of.
That was horrific.
Yeah.
What are you doing, Texas?
Ground ball to the left side of the mound. Walk it off.
Unbelievable, right?
Don't even throw the
little
ball.
league right there, right? Just hold on to it, right?
Man, that looked like straight T-ball right now. You could go out right now to your local little league, Tahoe Talac, and you could see that.
You'd see better throws at some T-ball games, I think. You might actually see him defend that better. Yeah, so, the Giants are rampaging right now, leading the NOS, and then the A's are back to 500.
Yep, they're in the mix. They're in the mix.
Beat up on them sorry teams. That's what you do.
Right now, it's time for Whitey's Wayback Machine quiz for April the 28th. It's brought to you by Lee's Air, Plumbing, and Heating. Everything in the quiz is based on or is related to things that happened on this date in what year. That's the whole dang deal here. Kyle Draper, I believe you're up first here.
I'm sure I am.
No. I won that. I
don't remember that.
I won that. Yeah, I won that.
I thought it was
then we
tie.
tied. Correct. So I'm still up.
Was a tie.
Come on, champ.
All right, go for it.
My apologies, Jay. So Jay is the current champion. Here's what we have today, Jay. We have this date, what year in boxing?
Oh, I got this.
We have this date, what year in the NFL draft? We have this date, what year in baseball? We also have 1990, 2011, and 2016. So this date, what year in boxing, NFL draft, and baseball? 1990, 2011, and 2016. Jay, where would you like to begin?
I'm going with 1990.
1990.
Paul O'Neill.
It's the closest to.
Let Drapes go first.
I go first. I get it right on the nose.
Drapes this day, 1990. The Celtics set an NBA single playoff game record. Scoring record by putting up how many points in a win over the Knicks this day, 1990?
This date, 1990.
Single playoff game scoring record for a team. Put up how many? And a win over the Knicks.
156.
156. What do you think?
Read that question one more time, sir.
This date, 1990, the Celtics set an NBA single playoff game scoring record by putting up how many points in a win over the Knicks? Drape said 156.
That thing is still a record to this day.
Mm-hmm. Come on, Jay. I know I'm close.
Who can get who's closest to here?
See,
because it's a record still today, I'm gonna go over. So 157.
It's 153.
157.
Oh! That was on the nose.
On the nose. Oh, Jay, you so lucky, bro.
157 to 128.
Drake said he was gonna hit it on the nose. I know it's my boy. I'm gonna ride with you big time.
Oh man,
poker face. He's 156.
Oh, okay. How about you, Jay? That was a great guess.
That was a great guess.
Shoot, I should get a point just for that. Guess. Damn. All right, Jay got
on the nose, baby.
Yeah. So you got that one, Jay. Well done.
All right.
Drapes, you're up this day. What year in boxing, NFL draft, baseball? 2011, 2016.
Boxing, baby. You know, I'm a pugilist.
All right. You get to hear
Sweet
it.
science,
All right.
huh?
I get to hear it
And then decide. This day, what year in boxing? Muhammad Ali is stripped of his boxing title after refusing induction into the U.S. Army.
Oh, I think I know this.
I don't know, but your opponent might because he's wearing a Muhammad
I
Ali
know.
shirt.
I think I know this.
And I was
think I
wondering
know
if
this.
that's why.
Oh, man. I think I know this. Although somebody just texted me and said Jay was Googling the answer
I don't think he was.
when Whitey was reading the question. Somebody just texted me.
Well, I got other
Hey,
stuff
watch
to
it.
do.
All right,
Unfortunately,
all right.
I still got to do sound, and unless you want to,
I'm
that
just
person want to
saying,
come do
dude.
podcast.
I'm just saying, my sources are telling me.
Man, listen,
All right.
yeah, I can hold up my phones now. You know what I mean? I got,
I can vouch for Jay.
I'll answer this one.
Okay. This day, what year in boxing? Muhammad Ali stripped of his boxing title after refusing induction into the United States Army.
19. I'll let Jay go first. I'll let Jay. I changed. I think I know it, but I want to hear what Jay says.
All right, Jay. Muhammad Ali, this day, what year? Stripped of his boxing title after refusing induction into the U.S. Army.
I hope I don't do what Draper just did. I know it's one of these years.
Jay leading.
I'm going 1968.
1968. Over to Kyle Draper. This day, what year in boxing? Muhammad Ali stripped of his boxing title after
I didn't get it right, huh?
No, you didn't get it right.
Into the U.S.
It was
Army.
1969. Mark it down.
1967. Seven.
Yes,
sir!
Ah.
Yes, sir. It was 7 or 8. Yes, sir.
Jay's got the lead.
I was going to say 68 too. when I was about to,
Oh,
dude,
very
I'm
good
struggling.
guesses today.
I'm struggling.
Yeah. You deserve better than being down 2-0, but here we are.
I know.
So, Jay, you're up. We have this day, what year in NFL draft in baseball? 2011 and 2016.
Let's go this year in the NFL draft.
This day, what year in the NFL draft? The Raiders used the first overall pick on Jamarcus Russell.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I remember that.
Oh,
this date, what year?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Hold on.
You can guess, or you can have Drapes go first. That's
okay.
On this day, what year? That's how it works. You hear it and then decide. Drapes even started to answer his. Stopped. And
I know.
Yeah.
Hold on. I'm trying to counter. I'll let no.
Come on, Jay.
I think I know this one.
Jay has the belt. Last game was a push, so he retained it.
I think I know this one. Do I go?
Jay leading.
Why don't I know this 100%? Because it's a Raider.
It's a Raider.
Let Drapes go first.
2003.
2003.
Damn.
Jay?
It's not right.
That's not right?
No, it's 04 because it's 05, 06.
2007.
Yeah.
07. Jay getting the easy ones, man. He not even
Got the same one you did.
Because no, everything he's guessing off of what I answer.
I would have guessed
just
06.
going one over.
I'd have guessed 06. That was my first guess.
Jay leading 3-0 Drapes.
How many questions?
We got 3 left.
Oh, I'm good.
Plus over. You got time.
Yeah, plenty of time.
But you need to turn around here. So you got this day, what year in baseball? 2011 and 2016. You got to run the table and then win.
2011.
2011. Multiple choice. 2011. This date, Carolina selected Cam Newton with the overall first pick in the draft. Which of the following quarterbacks was not? A top 10 pick in 2011?
2011. Okay. All right.
Jake Locker, Blaine Gabbert, Christian Ponder. Cam went 1. Which of those 3 was not a top 10 pick?
Blaine Gabbert.
That's not right because he was a top 10 pick.
Jake Locker was 8. Christian Ponder was 12. Blaine Gabbert was 10. Yeah. So I didn't give you a chance there, Jay. I should have, but you'd already clinched the victory.
Yeah.
He was 10, huh?
Yeah.
He was a 10th.
What do we do for the next 5 minutes now?
Let me see them other 2.
All right, Jay. 2016, Jared Goff. Oh, I love this question. I want to see how you guys do with this one. You may hate it. I love this. 2016, this date. Jared Goff is the first player taken in the NFL draft. Which team in that year drafts 2 non-quarterbacks in 2016, both of whom are still playing, who who have both thrown touchdown passes in the NFL.
Wait, say that one more time.
This team in 2016, what team drafted 2 guys, neither one of them quarterbacks, but both of them have thrown touchdown passes in the NFL? Looking for the team.
Multiple choice here?
Baltimore, Tennessee, or New Orleans?
Orleans.
New Orleans? It's not correct.
Damn. See, I'm
That's why I put that in there.
I would have said
because
Jason Taysom.
Yeah.
Taysom. I would have said Tennessee because Derrick Henry's thrown a TD.
It is Tennessee.
Yes, sir.
Derrick Henry and Kevin Byard.
Yes, sir.
This guy's
on fire.
Derrick Henry's on 4.
Yeah, he's thrown a few. Yeah.
Time out. Where the basketball questions? Season's over now. Oh, man, this is killing me.
And then the other one was just this day, what year in baseball? 19-year-old Bryce Harper made his debut with the Nationals.
Harper.
Highly anticipated. Was he in high school when he was on the cover of Sports Illustrated?
Yes, sir. Out of Nevada.
Yeah.
2000.
Graduated high school early to go play Woodbat League.
What you thinking, Jay?
Let's see. He's got to be early 30s.
Yeah,
right?
I was
32,
going to say
31.
like 2011.
Yeah, that's pretty close.
Yeah.
By the way, Campy's doing very well here.
Is he?
He submits his answers. He has some.
Let's push up one. I'm going to say 2012.
Dang.
Jay's on fire.
Oh, he's on fire.
Yeah.
I quit.
Yeah.
No
mind.
Bing, bing, bing.
Jay, come on, man.
It's baseball season, fam. You come check. I got the sound on.
Somebody said Jay was typing quickly on the phone.
Man, I could go to where I was going. Let's see.
You knew
here.
the Christian Ponder one too, didn't you? Because you knew that.
Yeah.
So you got all 6 today.
Yeah.
Nah. Only 3. Because the other 3 were just I didn't get.
So that's well.
Good work, Jay. Good work. I got to study up on tomorrow's stuff.
Yeah. You've been on vacation a little
bit. Right. I'm a little rusty.
Yeah.
Coming back.
Yeah. But Jay has, I think, this 3 matches in a row now where
he's on fire.
We're getting out of basketball season.
I know.
See, Drapes has to calculate all the basketball analytics for conversation during the game. Now we're in baseball terms. Summertime, baby.
Man.
Ready to go.
Well, that's where I think you really broke his back like Bane to Batman, Jay, when on that single playoff game scoring record when he went 156 and you got him with one.
He was spot on.
Was on.
Soon as you said the Celtics, I said, "Oh, he's gonna be pretty close." Pretty close. Once you said Celtics, I said, "Oh man, I figured." And this was my only thinking about it was this: if it's still a record now, I've seen 140 in the playoffs over the last couple of years. So I was like, would you say what year was that? 90?
1990. So
which is super surprising.
Gang Green's like last hurrah.
Yeah,
those guys
score that much.
Yeah, so I was automatically going above anything. Unless Draper said 183 or something, which I knew he wouldn't. I was already going to go above what he was going to say.
Drapes, you think the Rockets bounce back tonight?
Oh, yeah. They got it right where they want him. The key has got to be Jalen Green. He has to go off.
They got to make shots.
Yeah. If he doesn't make shots, it's a wrap. I'm watching this. Dude, they're up 44, Whitey. Cleveland's up 40. Miami has 38 points midway through the third quarter. Adam Silver. Your league, man.
Too many teams in the playoffs, maybe. This year looks like
right?
it.
Where the wrong team's like, that Cleveland, my gosh.
Mm-hmm. If the Rockets win tonight, if Jimmy is just not very mobile, if the Rockets win tonight and Jimmy's struggling, that thing could turn. I don't expect it will, but it could turn right around. You could have reason to be texting Bonte.
I will.
Very gleefully.
I hope so. Because those guys are so arrogant, just like their team and their fans. Let's go, Rockets. Ime, have your boys ready. I think it's going to get super spicy tonight.
Jacob Anders says you should make them write their answers on like a small whiteboard or something.
I ain't got that type
way
of time.
One can't just guess one higher or lower than the other person.
I like that.
Nah,
I like that.
That's not the call of this game.
Jay's figured it out. He's figured out how to win. And may have to change the rules.
Call me Shaq, baby.
Right.
You must be playing well, Jay.
Right.
You want to change the rules. Good to have you back, Drapes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for being with us. Why don't you come back tomorrow? Stick around.
Yeah.
Infinity Sports Radio is next here on Sacktown Sports.